And just like that, it is Leo season. Welcome to Leo season, where everybody prospers under the sun. Thank you so much for clicking here. I appreciate you. Welcome here, my lovelies. I'm glad that you made it. I am here with 12 decks to my left, and I'm going to read a little bit from all of them for all of you. And thanks so much for joining me to do that today. I am here to ask you to please stop watching tarot just for your sun sign. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's cool. Don't take advice from me, but there is a lot that you don't know if you're not a person who is doing tarot for your moon and your rising sign. I cannot get words out today. Today's the 24th and it's the last day of retrograde, and I'm telling you what, I am tripping over all of my words. My tongue and my teeth are not in cahoots. My brain is I don't know where. How is it for you? How is retrograde for you? We still have a post-shadow phase as Mercury is starting to gain momentum in the atmosphere. So hopefully it starts getting a little bit easier for you. So thanks for being here. And yes, please look for your natal chart. They're free everywhere on the interwebs. And let's get to this stuff. Enough blah, blah. The only other thing I got to tell you is that private reads are open, and they always are. So thanks for those of you who booked throughout the sale. The pre-recorded sale is over, but my live readings are always on sale. If you're interested in doing that, click the link to Hipsy. Take a look in the pinned comment for membership energies, and if you want to book a private reading. All right. Whew, enough of that. Let's get into channel mode. I hope you're well. Thank you for being here, Aries, my fire family. This is for you if you are sun, moon, rising, Venus, or Jupiter sign. Maybe you might want to let me know in the comments. Whew, you are my fire family. This week has been crazy. And I'm just sitting down to look at you here, resting a little bit. Let's find out what's going on for Aries. Tell me about Aries. Aries, we started with the Four of Cups. We got the Hanged Man. Oh, okay. We've got the Ten of Swords. Are you hiding? Feels like somebody's hiding here. And we've got the Knight of Swords. Okay, no, maybe you're in the slingshot. Maybe that's it. Pulling back on the slingshot, that's what it feels like. We've got the Four of Cups, which is, well, for starters, I think for some of you, there could have been some sort of an emotional rejection that you're dealing with. It doesn't have to be a romantic, but it could be if it's for you, if that's the lens you're bringing here today. It's always your discernment, right? But then we have the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man indicates that something's been in a pause, or you are trying to get perspective over something. So if you are the person with the Ten of Swords, Hanged Man, and Four of Cups, who has had some sort of a rejection, it could be a rejection of a job, maybe you applied for something. It feels like that you are sort of comfortably sat in your comfort zone, is what it feels like, the Four of Cups. But the Four of Cups is here because I think somebody is trying to get over something that they're releasing. So maybe you're just releasing something. But then we've got the Knight of Swords. So I feel like it's a quick recovery. It feels like skibbity-doo. It's just like a one of those bumps that you hit in the parking lot. You know, I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing for you, but it does feel like it is something that you're trying to get over here. It is an ending. The World card is here, and that just flipped out of my hand. So I feel like it's just something. It's like the closing of a chapter. It's probably the end of retrograde, right? Because we are sort of emotionally tapped out, a lot of us, if you are the person who is affected by retrogrades, and some people say that they're not, so let me know in the comments if you are, but it feels like somebody here is a little bit tapped out of emotion. Four Cups, right? And I'm just gonna sit here and release this thing. It feels like you're releasing an old part of you, or an old chapter, or an old thought process after giving it much thought, I would say, because the Hanged Man is here, looking at something from a different point of view than you ever did before, and realizing it's no longer serving you. I think you're on your way because the Knight of Swords is here. Next card out beside the World card is the Empress. You're leaving an old vibration for a new one. That's what it feels like. And we have the Hierophant here. It's time to commit to yourself. It feels as though somebody here has come to a resolution, or I would say, I think it's a resolution. I think that you have come to this realization, maybe, that there is nothing left for you to do in the last the last chapter of your life. I think somebody here is closing it out. And I want to say that it feels emotional because and I mean, we are looking at swords here, but we do have the Four of Cups and we have all this water on the Hanged Man energy. And this is psychic energy, right? This is Piscean energy. So it feels like somebody here has really thought over the process. I don't think this is something that you've done quickly. I don't think it's something that you did without thought, Aries. I feel like this is something, a resolution that you've come to, that it's time to go. The Knight of Swords is here. It's time to go. Just cut it free and go. Because with the World card here, it's not only an ending of a chapter, but it feels like an ending of a thought pattern or the way you feel. I feel like somebody's like, I'm not going to get all emotional about that anymore. The Empress being here next to the World card always tells me that somebody feels that they no longer belong in the old version of them. And sometimes we do that, right? Sometimes we will keep ourselves shrunk into the old version of ourselves because there's people there we love. And we don't want to go on, ahead and leave them behind. And they probably won't notice it until it's too late that you've left them behind. But I think that the Hierophant tells me to please stand on business for yourself. Like, I think that you need to do what you need to do to keep the commitment to yourself as the Empress. And the Empress can be masculine or feminine energy. In fact, is because of the Libra and Taurus energy. But it is Venusian. And so I feel like somebody here has decided, I've got to close that door. The way it's showing up here, I'll show you, the Empress has her back to the door. So it's like, it's time for me to go. And it's time for me to get on with the new cycle. It feels like you're in some sort of a creative cycle. And sometimes when that happens, as a creator, I'll tell you that, is that not everybody's happy for your success, right? Not everybody's happy for your success. And they feel like you've outgrown your britches. Let them. Tell me more. We've got the Seven of Swords. We've got the Six of Swords. Yeah. Looks like, I feel as though there's just nothing left here. Like when the Seven of Swords shows up with the Six of Swords, it tells me, I just need to go. It's too chaotic to wonder what is under the surface right now. And it feels like with the Hanged Man energy, this Piscean energy, you feel it, Aries. That's what it feels as though. You feel it, and it's time for you to move on from the Seven of Swords. I don't think you got time for that, honestly. What's that meme? Ain't nobody got time for that, right? To try and figure people out. Like, we're adults, right? We shouldn't have to make up our own ideas in our head about what's hiding with the Seven of Swords. So maybe you just don't trust it, but the Six of Swords is here to say, it's too chaotic, man. I can't keep figuring you out. If you're not going to speak out loud like an adult and use your words, then I've got to close the door and move to the next vibration. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles. So I really do feel you have outgrown a vibration. It feels like you've become a lot more confident, and you're probably paying more attention to work or whatever is making you rise in your pentacle world. So if you're a person who doesn't work, then maybe that is you're finding a new group of friends because the old ones are stuck in maybe a chaotic situation, like mentally, because the Six of Swords is here. But it feels like somebody here is making an independent decision, a confident independent decision to move forward into the future. Knight of Cups is in the reverse. You see things for what they are. And sometimes that's the hard part, right? Because it is coming up as cups. It's emotional. And when the Knight of Cups for me comes up in the reverse, it's like I'm no longer throwing this sort of fantasy, everything will work out. I still see the potential. It's like you're not doing that anymore. I feel like you finally see something clearly for what it is, and you know that it's time to go. Let's find out what is in the outcome. We've got the Five of Swords. You're fighting yourself here. We've got the Hermit. Yeah, you really. This is not something you're taking. This is not something you're taking lightly, because the Hierophant is very serious, and also the Hermit is quite serious about the spiritual growth that they have been in the middle of. Wow, look at this. Somebody here is going through it. We've got the Tower here. We've got the Hermit in the center of the read, and then we have the Five of Swords. So it does really feel like, Aries, this is going to be a time for you, possibly over the next 7 days, that you're going to be fighting yourself, fighting the mind, saying, did I really have to just cut them off and go? It feels like somebody here with the Hermit energy has really thought it over intricately, because that's Virgo energy, right? I don't think you've missed anything. I think you are seeing things for what they are, because the Tower said it's time. Yeah, and so when the Tower shows up, it is it's sort of like, oh, I didn't expect that. That wasn't on my bingo card for this week. But I feel like somebody's going to have a realization that I've outgrown this relationship, this job, whatever it is. You've outgrown some sort of space in your life, and it's time for you to carry on. I think it's you've come to this realization here with the Ten of Swords and the Hanged Man, that I can't hang around here anymore because it's going to put my life in a pause. And that's what happens when it's time for you to leave the vibration and go forward, go into a new group, go into a new vibration, maybe a new job, leave the old job. If we stay there, it becomes very chaotic because we don't fit. We're trying to make ourselves fit. And so I think that's why the Tower is here, because I feel like you were trying to make yourself fit for a little bit. Let's see what's around the corner. Brains are everywhere today. Tell me what's around the corner. Oh, we have the Two of Cups, we have the Star, and we have the Fool. So I think that you are on to new friendships for sure, because the Two of Cups can be love ships or friendships. It feels like somebody here has realized that I need a more healing love. I need a more grounded, or I think that you're manifesting the Two of Cups, and the Two of Cups is reciprocal emotional energy. It's intimate conversations. I really want to bond to somebody. I don't want to have all these surface level communications with people. I really want to bond to someone. So this could be romantic or not for you, but the Fool is here. I feel like you are taking a leap. You are trusting the self because you're confident. Nine of Pentacles, and the Empress is here. So I feel that tells me there's a vibrational change going on with the World card. So we do have Aquarius and Cancer. We have Aries. We do have Piscean energy and Virgo. We have Gemini a couple of times, 3 times actually. So there's going to be communication. We have Piscean energy, and that Tower is Scorpio. We have Virgo, Taurus and Libra, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. I don't think that you made this decision quickly. It feels like years, like you've been approaching this detachment for years, because you know that there is more exciting things going on, right? The Page is here. Page of Wands. Excuse me. All right. Let's get it done, Taurus. How are you, my bull gang? I hope you're well. Thanks so much for clicking here. Tell me about Taurus. For the next 7 days, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Comfortable here. Tell me about Taurus. Tell me about Taurus. Taurus, we are starting out with the 6 of Pentacles. We've got the 4 of Swords, the 3 of Pentacles, and the 2 of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the King of Swords. Taurus, it feels like I want to say that somebody here has moved into a place in their life where they're having much more healing communications. It feels like you have found a group of people, 4 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, and 3 of Pentacles. If this is not now, and it's not building into the future, I feel like you have a plan. 2 of Wands is here. It feels like the plan is, I'm going to find a new community, a new group of people I can trust and collaborate with, possibly people that I can, have good, solid, practical communication with, because the 6 of Pentacles is here with the 3 of Pentacles. But I feel like this is a new group of people, because the 4 of Swords is here. It's telling me you've healed from something, you've done some sort of practical healing, or maybe you're just feeling better after having a low sort of energy. For those of you who are sensitive to planetary movements, I would say that you are, is Chiron still in your sign? I don't know. If you're an astrologer and I think Chiron is still in Taurus, but that indicates with the 4 of Swords that you have been looking at things very differently. It feels like, who's going to serve me in this healing community? You may have joined a healing community, maybe a spiritually healing community. Maybe you've decided to become someone who gives or receives healing in this community. Reiki practice, possibly. Somebody here could be going to school. We do have the King of Swords here. It's, being very, very much about the facts and the details, facing something you've always wanted to do, having the last word in something. So maybe you're becoming a specialist in your field. Maybe you're a nurse. Maybe you're a doctor. Let's find out what's going on We've got the Ace of Cups. Okay. The Chariot just jumped out. And then we have the Seven of Cups. You know what this feels like? It feels like somebody who has been stuck in the in-between for a while. So if you're a person who's like, my life just feels like purgatory. I can't move backwards. I can't move forwards. It feels like somebody here who's been feeling like their life was stuck for a while. It feels like things are going to move forward, but I feel that there is some sort of emotion attached to it. We've got the Ace of Cups and we've got the Seven of Cups. That is 8 cups, and it tells me that it's time for you to disconnect and move forward here. But the Chariot is here, also trying to discipline my emotions, because the Seven of Cups is here. And so it feels like it's either overwhelmingly emotional for you to leave a place and go to a place, because the Chariot is here. It feels like you need more successful connections, ones that are heart-based. The Ace of Cups is here. I feel like it's very emotionally, I don't think it's sad. I'm going to say that it's you're trying to hold your emotions down with the Chariot. That's Cancer energy, and that's discipline, right? Disciplining the emotions possibly. But it does feel like yeah, it's time to go. It does feel like it's time for me to plan to find a better way to do this. I feel like it's a better way to be in a group of people, it feels like. There's a lot of work going on outside. You might hear beeping and all sorts of stuff. All right. We've got the Five of Wands, Taurus. We've got the Magician in the reverse. And we've got the Five of Pentacles. I think, yeah, it feels like you've been thinking about doing this for a long while, because the Five of Wands is here, and that is a little bit of indecision, battling yourself on the inside. And then we've got the Magician in the reverse with the Five of Pentacles. I feel quite manipulated in that other group of people. I don't feel like you feel you belong there anymore. Yeah. The Five of Pentacles. It's like you're seeing something for what it truly is. Maybe it felt like an illusion until you finally, you know what it is? It's like we don't know the light until we see the dark. Unless we've lived in the dark for a long time, we don't understand how important the light is. And that's what this feels like. Maybe you've been in a group of people, Three of Pentacles, for such a long period of time that really are no longer serving your needs emotionally, serving your needs practically. It feels like these are all partnerships, possibly, and you're like, well, if I got partnerships in this place where I don't feel like I belong, then, you know, it's okay. It's easier for me to go on to another partnership. So I do feel like the Magician being in the reverse is telling me that you are battling yourself, because you know that there's some sort of manipulation going on in an old group of people or an old employer. Look, we have 3 and 6 of Pentacles, and so that can be workplace as well, right? It feels like you've outgrown something because you've grown practically, or you're a person who is the leader and you no longer want to play small in your life. It feels like that if it is not group related for you, but possibly related to your career. We've got the Queen of Cups. Oh, that's what it is. You're fighting yourself because of your compassion. I feel like I'm speaking to someone who's really lovely and kind and really doesn't want to hurt anybody. It almost feels like you're leaving a work family. I mean, don't let them talk you into that stuff, but it feels like you're going to miss the people you used to work with, or you're going to miss the people you used to hang out with. It feels like you're leaving a place where that you feel as though you were on the outside looking in. You no longer agree with the kinds of things they talk about, who they are, what they do. Like, it feels like you don't fit in there anymore because the Five of Pentacles is here. And I think that the Queen of Cups shows up to say, look, I'm doing this in the most compassionate way I know how, but I do have a plan, Two of Wands, and I've got to go. It feels like you are trying to back away slowly, quietly from a group of people. Maybe this is temporary, like possibly you've just had enough emotion for a while. Maybe you were one of the people that were really affected by retrograde. I think you just need a timeout or an exhale. I feel like you just need an exhale. We've got the Hermit energy, yeah. We've got the Four of Pentacles, and now we've got the Ten of Pentacles. So I feel as though it's time for you to spend some time alone, is what it feels like. spending some time alone is also going to save you money. 4 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. I think that I'm going through a reading with somebody who is feeling rather exhausted from being very social. I go through that as well. I'm a Taurus sun. I go through that as well. These times where you are, oh God, I agreed to that, didn't I? And then they start coming once a week. You have all these social engagements, and then you're like, shut off. You're like, I need some time alone. I need some time for me. So I think that it could be one of those things. I'm going to say if you are a person who is leaving your job and sad that you have to do that, but it doesn't fit your needs anymore, I feel like you are finding a job that pays a lot more. There's a 10 of Pentacles is here. I feel like if you're the person who might be changing jobs, and maybe you don't know that you are, maybe you make that decision in the next 7 days, it does feel like there is going to be a lag between jobs. And I don't think it's because of anything you've done. I think it's because you are quitting one job, you serve out your time, your 2 weeks, your month, whatever it is, and then there is like a time for you to exhale in between the old job and the new job. Tell me what's around the corner. Around the corner, we have the Empress. Yeah, it looks like somebody is moving into a new vibration. Oh, it's a leadership position, I feel like here. It is a leadership position because we have the 6 of Wands and the Empress side by each here. And look, we are in Leo season, right? So I feel like the spotlight is on you. And I feel like the 5 of Cups being here tells me that you hope you don't regret making the move. Let's pull one more card here. Or maybe you hope you don't regret being the face of the company. I think that you're moving to a new company, a new group, whatever it is. It feels like the move is about you getting more attention. Yeah. And I think that if you are the Empress, that possibly you outgrew a group of people who think that you think you're all that. The Empress is all that. Just saying. Not like you have to say it, but people can see it, right? We do have the Fool. Yeah, you're definitely jumping into something new. The Fool is here, so it's coming up under the 6 of Wands. So I do feel, Taurus, that you are, Charlie just said making your debut. So maybe you're debuting yourself as the Empress. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you. If you are a person who is moving into this new job, into this new group of people, into this new network of people, I don't think you know that you are in this Empress energy. You just know that the old vibration doesn't fit you anymore. But I think what you don't realize is that when you go into the new group of people, that there really is a spotlight on you. Maybe because you're new, but this is like when I see the Empress and the Fool together here, it makes me feel like, yes, I am moving forward here, moving into a new vibration. And it feels like, okay, so maybe you got your master's in nursing. Maybe you got your master's in something. And although you know the job, you're going to a different place to do it. And it feels like it is a little bit nerve-wracking because the Fool is excited and exhilarated, but also terrified because you have to break your way in as the boss. As the spotlight is on you, you have to break your way into this new place. You have to break them all in. And not everybody's a fan of the Empress at first because that person is quite capable, is the leader. And if you're going to a job, I've done that before, where you're going there as a leader and nobody knows you, it can be a pretty hard transition. We have Aries, we have Taurus and Libra, we have Gemini and Virgo, we have Capricorn, more Virgo. Yeah, going over the details, thinking about it. We have Leo energy here, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Aries and Gemini. Sorry, went out last night and I'm feeling a little congested. We have Aries energy here, more Capricorn energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Taurian energy here. I think it's going to be hard to go because I see the 2 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I don't think you want to go, but I think you've realized that you can't stay where you are now. You don't got to go, but you can't stay here, I think is the saying. All right. Woo. Let's talk about you, Gemini. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Gemini. Tell me what is going on for Gemini for the next 7 days. Gemini, we have the Lovers in reverse. What's going on here? We've got the, what's that? The 5 of Pentacles. We've got the Page of Pentacles, and we've got the 10 of Cups. It's not a page, sorry, it's a Knight. A Knight of Pentacles is here. So it does feel like there is Lovers in the reverse tells me that you're not ready to make a choice. Doesn't always have to be about love, but it could be. Feels like you are possibly looking back. Look, the Knight is looking into the past, and so it feels like you are leaving. I'll show you how it's on the table here. So it looks like you are leaving something behind here. So far, this is 3 for 3. It feels like there's a lot of change going on. You know what? It does feel like when the end of retrograde comes up, and we are at that today. Retrograde goes direct sometime today, and then it's going to take a couple of weeks for it to speed up back in the atmosphere again. And it does feel like that after going through a retrograde, sometimes we do make decisions that, no, I'm never going to need that again. We can leave that back there. And so I think these first 3 readings so far in this sneak peek have been about letting go. And so it does feel like you are in your era of letting go here, Gemini. But you've been, I feel, on this path of not being able to make that choice. But I feel like it's becoming more and more logical with the page of, the Knight of Pentacles and the 5 of Pentacles. It's becoming more and more logical that I don't belong here anymore. Sorry, I'm listening to a song now. Hang on. Okay, I just heard somebody sing, I don't belong here. Whatever that song means to you, whatever those lyrics mean to you. Oh, it's Creep. Ah, I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo. You're very different. Look, you're not a creep, you're just a weirdo. I love weirdos. Weirdos are my favorite. And so is Gemini, by the way. Gemini weirdos are my favorite. And I feel like you are, you're not like the others. You know, like Sesame Street, one of these things is not like the others. And I feel as though you feel alone or left out on the outside looking in. You know that your path is different. You're a weirdo. Your path is different than everyone else's. You are headed to the 10 of Cups, friend, because that's what's showing up here. But it feels like you don't want to make this choice, but I don't belong here. That's what the song Creep is about, right? It feels like it could be a relationship because, yeah, your skin makes me cry, but I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo. Somebody feels like they don't belong there. No, I don't fit in, and I don't want to try and fit in. Next cards at the top here is the Ace of Cups. We've got the 6 of Wands, 2 cups. Yeah. The Moon is at the bottom of the deck. So we do have the Ace of Cups here. It feels as though because the Lovers is in reverse, I'll say somebody's leaving a relationship or somebody is thinking about this doesn't work for me anymore. It could be romantic. It doesn't have to be because it's not always with the Lovers, but Lovers is Gemini and it's in the reverse. So I feel like you're having a hard time making a choice. Like you have a choice to make. And I feel like it's a really hard choice, but it feels like you don't belong there anymore. The Six of Wands is here. It feels like you're not getting any emotional attention. The 2 of Cups is next to the 6 of Wands. It feels like there's no more intimacy here. There's no more intimate conversations. We don't cuddle, eat popcorn, and watch movies anymore. If it's romantic for you, it feels like I'm not getting any more reciprocal energy from you is what it feels like. And it especially feels like that when we're out in public or at a social gathering, 2 of Cups and the Ace of Cups. It feels like somebody ignores you when you're in the social environment. It could be a friend. And it feels like that possibly you get a lot of attention. And so the thing is that you're getting a lot of attention from other people, but I think that there's one person or whatever over there, and you're like, well, why aren't they giving me attention? It feels like this is somebody that you already know, that you've already bonded to, and I feel like this Moon coming up is timely because it feels like I'm not really sure what's going on. Things are not as they seem. The 3 of Swords is here. Yeah. So it really does, and the 8 of Swords. So I feel like you've been overthinking a friendship, overthinking a relationship. It feels like, why is this person all of a sudden making me feel like I don't belong here anymore? Because not everybody is standing back. I feel like, in fact, that you get a lot of attention. It feels like that you get a lot of attention from everyone else except for the person that you're with, that you show up to the social gathering with, and then that person goes off on their own and doesn't bother with you after that. Feels like something like that. We've got the Four of Wands, we've got the Three of Pentacles, and we've got the Nine of Wands. So I feel like you are really considering finding a new network or a new group of people or a new partner, a new partnership. Could be partner in business. But we've got the Nine of Wands here because I don't think you want to feel that way anymore. Gemini, you don't have to feel that way. You don't deserve to feel that way. So I feel like the Nine of Wands is telling me I'm sort of at this place right here. At this place, ready to let go. And you are thinking about where your next group, your next job, your next community is going to be. But the Four of Wands tells me I got to get back to stability. I got to get back to celebration. I got to get back to the way I was before all of this started going wrong, because I think you have a lot of love to give. The Queen of Cups is here. I think you are beautiful and kind and compassionate, and honestly, that's how I experience Gemini. The ones that are in my life, the ones that I allow in my life, are usually a mix of, you know, sort of Virgo kind of Queen of Cups energy, Cancer, like they're softer Geminis, right? So the Queen of Cups here, I feel like that somebody has been hurting you emotionally, or you feel really emotionally hurt by someone. And it is somebody that you've had a bond with for a while, somebody who knows intimate things about you. But I think that you're finally making this choice to say, no, I don't deserve that treatment. I don't deserve to feel in the Nine of Wands all the time. Tell me, what is the outcome here? Or ever. Like, you shouldn't feel Nine of Wands ever. We've got the Fool. Yeah. Got the Moon back here. And then we got the Ten of Swords. Oh, Gemini. I think you're in transition. That's what it looks like. Because the Two of Swords is here and the Five of Cups is here, and you don't want to go. But I think that you've gotten some sort of perspective, or you will, about what is to come next. Because what is to come next is the Nine of Cups is on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like you're not happy here, but there is happiness bottom of the deck for me is future energy. So you will be happy in the future, but I think you're at a crossroads here where you know that you could feel regret if you go, but what if you don't, right? So the outcome is the Fool, the Moon, and the Ten of Swords. This is gonna hurt like hell. Yeah. Hold on to yourself, because this is gonna hurt like hell. Yeah, those are lyrics. And so the Fool is here saying, this is something I have to do. It feels like an exhilarating and fun thing to do, but you also are feeling terrified, because I feel like it's time for you to go. Relieve yourself from this social group or the bond that you had with the social group. And the Moon being here, I don't know what's out there, but I know this is going to hurt like hell, Ten of Swords. But I really do feel like you have to release the illusion of what's going on here, because I don't think that you feel like you fit there anymore, right? When I was just now channeling that song Creep. So it feels like you feel like you don't belong there anymore, and it's time for you to find a new path here. Yeah, the Star is here, the Justice card is here, and the Chariot is here. The only way you're going to get your justice is by going. I'm sorry. Disciplining your emotions and heading for the door. The Star is here. There is wish fulfillment here, and the Devil's in reverse. Release yourself. Give yourself that gift, my friend. Release yourself from whatever's not serving you. The Eight of Cups is here. It's time to detach and walk away. Sorry for those of you who are sensitive, but I do have allergies, and so that is what it is. Okay, let me just see what we've got for energies here. We've got Taurian energy. We've got Capricorn, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, more Capricorn. We've got Sagittarius and Cancer. We've got Aries and more Pisces. We've got Libra. Look, I feel like that's what you're headed for. You're headed for the door, and you're doing it to get some harmony in your life. It feels like you're in a group or in a job or something like that where you just don't feel like you belong there. People disregard you and ignore you. The people that are the most important. We've got Virgo, we've got Aries, Aquarius, Cancer, Leo, Gemini, and more Aquarian energy. All right. I'm sorry you're going through that if that's you. No one deserves that. All right. Let's talk about you, Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising. Venus and Jupiter. Tell me about Cancer. What does Cancer need to know for Leo season? Or at least the next 7 days. Let's find out what's going on for Cancer. Hope you had a lovely Cancer season. I did. I had a good one. Tell me about Cancer. Although it was very emotional, I gotta say, I probably cried more. Pisces moon, right? I'm gonna cry at the commercials, but I was probably way more emotional than I usually am. Tell me about Cancer. Cancer, we have the Three of Cups. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the Fool. It does feel like there's a social engagement coming up for you. It feels like it will be fun. It feels like it's coming pretty soon. I would say in the next 7 days. Wands are weeks for me, and we have the Knight of Wands here holding one wand. And so we have the King of Pentacles and the Fool. Oh, I usually do call you the Taurus of the water signs. The King of Pentacles is here, so I'm going with that. But I'm just going to say that I think that you are not necessarily all that excited when this social engagement invitation shows up. It feels like it comes out of nowhere, I'm going to say, like somebody who you don't usually deal with, or it might be somebody who you do deal with, but maybe you have a mutual friend and you haven't seen the mutual friend and they invite you to go to the mutual friend's house. It feels a little bit weird like that, I would say, because the King of Pentacles is quite serious and very grounded and looking over all the details, and you're like, wait a second, like why? Why do they want me there? Like, why is this person asking me to come here? So it feels like it is going to happen pretty soon. It feels like with the Fool here that it does feel like something that sounds fun and exciting, but also a little bit, I wouldn't say terrifying, but uncomfortable. I would say it's a whole new world. Why is all the songs coming today? It's a whole new world. It feels like I feel like it's a place where they're going to be drinking, there's going to be food, it's like there's this socializing place, and you know, all the energy always sticks to you, Cancer, wherever you go, especially if you're a sun or a rising. Energy sticks to you wherever you go, and I think that you really do take that into consideration when you go. Am I going to be fighting energy? Six of Wands. Am I going to be fighting people's energies? Is this what I really want to do? When the King of Pentacles comes up, it's like a very serious decision for you. Is this what I really want to do with my time, effort, energy? Like, is that what I really want to do? It also could be that somebody the invitation is to go on a trip. And I'm saying that because the Fool is here and the Knight of Wands is here. It feels like a last minute trip. Hey, do you want to go to Vegas? Like, it feels like something that's a last minute trip. And it could be that the King of Pentacles is saying, it's going to cost me money though. You're kind of cheap. Not all of you. Maybe only the ones I know. We'll call it frugal because I'm frugal as well. So it feels like somebody here might be inviting you to go on a last minute trip, like maybe just a weekend or something, but it's going to cost, feels like it's going to cost a lot of money because it's last second, if that's the case here. Tell me about the Three of Cups. We've got the Three of Swords. See, I felt that little bit of angst underneath the source here. It feels like, but wait, why are they inviting me? I don't really even like that person. Like, it feels like that. We've got the Three of Swords. We've got the Ten of Wands, Two of Pentacles. You're going to have to make a decision about whether you're willing to drop this heartbreak or this disappointment or this frustration that is under the surface. So the Ten of Wands is here. Ten of Wands says, look, I've carried this burden long enough. I got to make a decision to unload the burden. And the burden is the Three of Swords. So I feel like you are a little suspicious as to why you're getting the invitation, but it does feel like there is this is a moment for you to decide what the future holds for you. Are you able to make a solid decision about how you feel about the situation? Can you let it go? I had a situation like that going on where I don't really want to see that person, but being in the same environment is not the same as being their friend. So you can be, I think, in the same environment, because I think that you really want to go, because the Fool is here with the Knight of Wands. It seems like really exciting and fun and something out of the ordinary, something to break the monotony. We have the Seven of Cups. We have the Page of Cups. Yeah, it is out of nowhere. And I was thinking about that with the Knight of Wands, but the Knight of Wands brings sort of the unstable, fiery kind of, hey, let's just rent a motorhome and go wandering about for 7 days. It feels like the Page is here. It's a surprise that breaks through the monotony of these Seven Cups here. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. So it is going to cost money. So if it's in a get-together at somebody's house, you might have to bring something with you, right? Maybe food or maybe drink, maybe it's a potluck. It feels like it's going to cost something, but it is an opportunity to reinvest in something if you're willing to do that. And if you're not, that's cool. But the page tells me you weren't prepared to have to look at all 7 cups right now, because I feel like it makes you relive the thought that this person is the person who I feel that you are connected to through the person that you really would like to see. I feel like they're asking you to go somewhere where there is a person that's going to be there that you don't want to see. And so I feel like the 7 of Cups is telling me, I don't know, I haven't really quite made the decision yet. I think you want to, because the 2 of Pentacles is here. But I think I'm doing this because I'm looking at this deck I've got here, the Marchetti Tarot. You can see here that there is a point shoe. And you got to be really strong to make your point, right? When you're dancing. I feel like somebody here needs to get their emotions organized, because that 2 of Pentacles is just right over top of the 7 of Cups. So you're going to have to get yourself in order about how you feel about the 3 of Swords and whether you're willing to drop that or not. So it does feel like it comes out of nowhere. It does feel like it's a surprise invitation to plant a seed, invest somewhere. This I feel is a turning point. We do have the Ace here, and we have this owl here. And so it feels like this is a turning point if you decide to go. So I'm going to say that maybe although you'll probably never want to be friends with this person again, you probably don't want to punch him in the throat either. That's what it feels like. We've got the 4 of Pentacles here. Yeah, I feel as though the 3 of Pentacles is the person's holding onto the 3 of Pentacles and 1 pentacle here. It feels like, this is my friend group. That's what it feels like. This is my friend group. I should go. I should invest here. I think you will. But I think you are holding on to whatever. There's going to be a person there that caused some sort of an emotional distress for you or emotional heartbreak, because the 3 of Swords is here with the 7 of Cups. And so I feel like you are like, okay, well, this is my friend group. Maybe I will invest. I mean, you can always leave if you don't like it, right? Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Lovers, yeah. Ooh, the 2 of Cups. So I think that the person that you don't want to see is somebody that you used to be married to, somebody that you used to date. It does feel like that. Look at this lineup. Good gosh. Look at that. Came out the Lovers, the 2 of Cups, and then the 10 of Cups. So I feel like the outcome is good. I want to say that the final outcome is good, but I do think that it feels like you do see someone there that you really do bond with, I'm going to say. So I don't think you really even have to worry about this other person, this third party. But I'm going to say that the Lovers and the 2 of Cups, when it came out, it does tell me that you probably did date this person and it went sour, or they broke up with you or something like that, because you ended up single here. But single and abundant. Like, I think they're going to be sorry when they see you that they didn't fight for you. The 6 of Wands is here. They're going to try and talk to you. The Ace of Swords is here. So I feel like you get this invitation within the next couple of days. And it does feel like that you are fighting it. Yeah, I don't know that you're going to say yes right away. Sort of sounds like a fixed sign thing. Fixed signs don't usually say yes immediately. Tell me what is around the corner for Cancer. We do have the 8 of Pentacles. Haha, you go right into recon. Yeah, it's like, okay, who's going to be there? I got to look through the Facebook list. Who's going to be there? I want to know who's going to be there. Going over the details, this 8 of Coins is coming up under the 3 of Swords. Going over the details of what they did to me. Is this something I want to do? If given the chance to do it, or if this person walks up to me, 6 of Pentacles, am I ready to give them reciprocal energy? I'm looking at the King of Wands here. Look at that. Look at the eyes. It's like, what are you doing in my face? You know you're going to do it, Cancer. What do you want? I feel like this person that you don't want to see is somebody who's still quite attracted to you. I feel that this person is probably going to pursue you in the room just to see if everything is okay. Justice card is in the reverse. It is not okay. And I think you're going to say that. It's not okay. Go away. It's not okay. I'm not interested in speaking with you. 9 of Wands. Yeah, you're still hurt. I think you are. And you're still in this 5 of Cups energy. I feel you want them to leave you alone. The Hermit is here. 9 of Pentacles is here. Just leave me alone. So I do feel, in fact, that you will see that person if this is a group of people that you are usually hanging out with, but you've been hanging back because you don't want to see this person possibly, then I think that you are going to see this person and have to deal with them because they're going to seek you out. We do have the Two of Pentacles, Capricorn. We have a couple of Capricorns here, and Libra. We have Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Taurus, Virgo. We've got Piscean energy. You know what? That makes me feel like you already know this is coming. You probably are hearing rumbling. So-and-so's having a party. So-and-so's having a birthday. It feels like that. We have Aries here. We have Cancer energy here. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sagittarius. We have Libra energy. I think you just want balance. We've got Cancer energy on the bottom of the deck. I think you just want harmony and balance. I don't know that you're going to get it here, though. I'm just saying. If you go, you'll be going for that friend. You won't be going because this person is there. I don't think you want to see them. If they come up to you, I think you're going to tell them that. All right. Just like that. It's Leo season. It's my favorite season because the sun is out and my boy is having a birthday today. His name is Nathan, and he's 26. So it's the best day of my life. So if you were born on the best day of my life, let me know. I'd love to hear if you were born in Leo season. I'd love to say happy birthday. Let's find out what's going on here in Leo season. Tell me about Leo. Look, Jupiter, I'm already feeling that. I'm a Jupiter Leo, and if you're a sun, holy crap, you're going to be under the spotlight. Things are going to start going really good. Expanding and changing, though. You might not be a fan of the change. What else do we have here? We've got the Seven of Pentacles, growth under the sun. I like it. Lots of growth. Tell me about the Seven of Pentacles. Oh, surprising growth. We've got the Page of Cups here. Something might be growing emotionally as well that you're not aware of here. We've got the Three of Swords. Maybe you're worried about it. And we have the Page of Wands. Okay, so the Seven of Pentacles is putting in a lot of work. It's also waiting. It's being patient. But it's also being very intentional with what you're doing while you're waiting. You're not just sitting there by the window. Wow, what's going on? I think that you're really working hard. You're really... You're probably working really hard on yourself, but maybe you're very busy at work. Maybe you're very busy volunteering if you're no longer in the workforce. It feels like, or those of you who have businesses possibly, it feels like something is silently growing in the background for some of you. Something that you don't realize is growing in the background because the Three of Swords is here. I must say, Leo, it feels like you're worried about something that that you've been waiting on, that seems like, I'm going to say that it's something that you are feeling that is done and over with. I feel like that it's a heartbreak. You think it's done, it's over. I don't think it's over. I'm going to say for those of you who are, this is a romantic thing, possibly. It could be a platonic thing because pentacles aren't always romantic. And the Page can be intuition. I feel like somebody here is, the Page of Wands here, I feel like surprise communication is what it feels like. Whether you decide to make the surprise communication or somebody communicates with you after a long period of time and a long break, a long wait. Seven of Pentacles. Tell me about the Seven of Pentacles. We've got the King of Swords. Yeah, okay. The Six of Cups. And the Seven of Swords. So this is somebody that you have a long history with, my friend. This could be a long-term friendship. Could be definitely a long-term spark. I'm going to say that if this is somebody that you've known for a long time that may have fallen in and out of situationship. Feels like that. Somebody that that maybe you had some intimate moments with, but not somebody that you ended up dating long term. But the King of Swords is here. I think that you're in an era right now that you're just really trying to be honest with yourself and face things head on. No more hiding in the shadows. You can't. The sun is here. We're in Leo season, right? You can't hide. I feel like you're growing and things are changing. I'm just going to say the Three of Swords is giving me this energy of everything is changing and it's shown up so suddenly. But look, Jupiter is going to show up and everything is going to be thrown around for a little bit, right? The Page of Wands is here. It's an exciting time, but I also feel like this is communication, surprise communication. that either you communicate or somebody communicates with you. The Seven of Swords is here next to the Six of Cups. So I feel like low-key you're thinking about this. I feel like there's nostalgic memories here, but also I don't think that, a lot of times when people think about things and want to go back to an ex, it's because they're thinking about all the good things. They want to try again, but what they don't realize is that it crashed and burned for a reason. They stop thinking about it at that point. And then the Seven of Swords being here, it tells me that we have a long-running nostalgic communication style. So we've been talking for a long time, or you've been my friend for a while, or we just have known each other for a while, but it feels like you're getting the details and the facts about what really happened with the Six of Cups. And the truth is I think there's still some things that are hidden that you don't know. The Seven of Swords is here. So it always seems like a good idea to go back to the past, but there's a reason it crashed and burned, right? We've got the Five of Pentacles. Yeah. Okay, we've got the Five of Swords. Something's about to change quickly here. Couple of fives, and we've got the Two of Pentacles. Somebody's about to make a decision. Now, I honestly can't feel which way this is. So if this is about you, it feels like you're about to make a decision to reach out to somebody that you have not spoken to in a while. And you're wondering, with the Seven of Swords, is this something that is this person not going to answer, going to push me away? Did they block me? Like, I feel like it's somebody you haven't texted in a while, haven't talked to in a while. It might be because of fundamental differences, but I feel like this is something between friends that went into an emotional place, but a small emotional place, like the Page is here. So it feels like it was for a moment in time and then it stopped. So the Two of Pentacles is here, and I feel like you are, sort of on the, should I, shouldn't I? Should I, shouldn't I? I feel like something changes pretty quickly. The Five of Swords is here. The Five of Pentacles is here. Is that person even going to pick up if I call? Are they still upset with me? Do we still have these fundamental differences? And truthfully, if you broke up because of fundamental differences, there's probably still fundamental differences. We've got the Eight of Wands, because you're thinking about what it would feel like to move forward into the future. I feel like you're making a decision, like one last chance. I will talk to this person one last time to see, and if not, I will move forward, and that will be my decision. Tell me about the outcome. We've got the Seven of Swords. We've got the Six of Wands in the reverse and the Seven of Cups in the reverse. It feels like you have picked them. I think that you want to speak with them because you picked them. Like, I feel like it's been a long while, but you realize that maybe after crashing and burning dating sites and all of that, it feels like you've realized that this person is the one. When I see the Seven of Cups in the reverse, I'm no longer confused about what I want. Now I know what I want. So it feels like after a long period of time, somebody's like, I really want that though. I think that was the best opportunity for me, then I gave it away. The Knight here tells me that somebody came to a pretty quick decision. Six of Wands is in the reverse. Nobody's giving, like, this person is not giving you attention anymore. It feels like you've been stuck probably in a dark night of the soul for a while. And honestly, that could be why it fell off the rails, right? Tell me what's around the corner for Leo. We've got the Eight of Cups. We've got the Nine of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. This could have been really good, but I walked away because of the Nine of Wands. I think you were dealing with something, Leo. I think you were dealing with hurt from the past, hardship. I think you were in burnout mode. It feels like you were doing too much of everything, and that's you. Working, kids, family, whatever it is. It's like helping everybody around you, right? Taking care of everybody around you. And it feels like you detached from this person because you were almost in burnout. It feels like that. But the Ten of Pentacles still stands. It feels like this could have been a really good long-term opportunity for me if I would have followed through. I don't think you could have at the time. So stop blaming yourself. I don't think you could have at the time. We've got the Six of Pentacles here, and I feel like there is going to be good reciprocal energy. If you do make the decision, I am reading it from your point of view, because for some people I don't. If this is something that you decide to do, if you decide to make the call, surprise somebody with a phone call, I feel like it's reciprocal. I also feel like if this person contacts you, which is very possible with the two pages here, it feels like I feel like you will receive it. I feel like you will speak to this person. But with the Six of Wands in the reverse, it tells me that you're going through something that you were stuck in at the time, and you just couldn't remove yourself from it. But I think in that time, you rapidly came to a decision of who would be your person if you could do this over again. Retrograde, right? It ends today, but we still got post shadow phase. You're in hermit mode. I feel like you haven't talked to anybody, but I feel like that's going to change. Ten of Cups is here. I feel like this person's going to be super happy to hear from you, but you're in your head because the Eight of Swords is here. You think they're not going to be happy to hear from you. I think they will be, because you're going to get some reciprocal energy that I don't think you expected. All right. We've got Virgo energy and Tauri. We'll say Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, because there's a lot here, a lot of pentacles. We've got Sagittarius energy, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, but the only card of Leo is in the reverse. Just going to say Six of Wands in the reverse. Maybe this person used to give you a lot of attention and you liked it. It could be that. But we've got Piscean energy here as well as Gemini and Virgo. All right. Happy birthday, folks. Let's find out what's going on with you, Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising. Venus and Jupiter sign. Tell me about Virgo, please, for the next 7 days. Tell me about Virgo. Virgo, we have the Hermit. Ask for Virgo when Virgo appears. Oh, and the World card. What's going on here? You're coming out of Hermit mode? We've got the Page of Swords. Oh, and the Tower. You're absolutely coming out. I feel like you've reached a conclusion. That's what it feels like. You've reached a conclusion. The Page of Swords is here because that's the one who is the student. And the Hermit is here. So I feel like you've been probably in this hermit energy looking over the self. You're really hard on yourself sometimes, right? And so it feels like, am I enough? Do I have enough? Am I spiritual enough? Have I found my light? I'm going to say the answer is yes. Because the Hermit here with the Tower tells me you're having some sort of a realization or an awakening at this time. The World card is here. It feels like it took you a very long time to come to this conclusion, but I'm saying it's a conclusion because the Page of Swords is here. You've been digging for information. You've been open to whatever spiritual lessons are coming here for you or came here for you. We see that somebody's sitting on the mountaintop, right? And so it feels like you have really been seriously thinking about self and the ways that you can change how you speak, change how you think. The Tower is here, right, with the World. And I feel like you've decided, you know what, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to make something right either with yourself or with someone else. But you've had a chance to think it over. And I feel like the Tower is bringing realizations. So after the Hermit, we've got Judgment. Ooh, the Sun is here. What is this? You're pulling all the big ones. And the Nine of Cups. Look, it feels like you come to a realization here. The Judgment card is here with the Sun. And I love this Sun particularly because it shows a breakthrough, breaking through the brick wall, right? And that Sun is coming up over the Hermit card. So you have had a breakthrough. And I really love that for you. The Judgment card is here with the Sun and the Tower. That is a spiritual awakening because the Hermit's here. It's all revolving around the Hermit, right? It's a spiritual awakening. And I think that somebody is going to feel very excited about this realization when it shows up. Because when Judgment's here, it's like Judgment has been calling you to do this, to see something within you for a really long time, Virgo. And I think that you're finally beginning to see it. But when you do finally see it and you have something's revealed to you in Judgment, which is, I need to take another path. I need to do something radically different in my life because all of the data points that way. It's not that you're making some sort of flippant decision about doing something. You know, Judgment and Hermit are here to me as an energy reader. Judgment is Pisces and Virgo. But this the Hermit energy is here. Virgo's here a couple of times. And I think that it took you a long time to make this decision. But look, it's a Nine of Cups outfall, like a fallout of Nine of Cups, which I really love because it's next to the Sun. And I feel like this Leo season for you, this between now and around about the 22nd or so, going into your season. I feel like this is like the time where you're revving up. It feels like you've had some sort of a revelation or realization about a choice. We got the Lovers here, the Nine of Swords, to not worry. Oh, I love that. I love that, because look, the stuff in the future is going to take care of itself. It doesn't matter how much you worry about it. You can't change what is coming. It is what it is. Quite literally, it's going to happen as it is. Now, can you get involved and steer it? Yes, you can, absolutely. But I think you're going to do something or say something rather than worry about it and just leave it as it is. Yeah, look at that. You've got all of the cards out here, the Death card, the Sun, the Judgment, the Tower, and the World card. Everything is indicating some sort of massive relocation or a realization, or what am I doing? And sometimes it's that way when you have an awakening. Even if you've got your initial awakening, the next one can even be the bigger one, because now you're open to it, right? So let's find out what's going on here. You also, because the Lovers is here, and the Lovers is a choice, but it also could be something romantic. Somebody's having some sort of really big revelation about someone that is their wish fulfillment. It could be that, if this is a romantic reading for you. Tell me more. We've got the Four of Cups. We've got the Knight of Swords and the Lovers. The Lovers found its way back out of the deck here. It does feel like somebody's getting on their horse and speeding over to somewhere else, something that you've been hanging. You are about to step way outside your comfort zone, friend. Because look, the Hermit's on the center of everything. The Hermit's on the table, and then the Sun is above the head of the Hermit. And the Page of Swords is here. So there's something here that you've had a realization about, is what it feels like. And now I've got to go tell somebody, but it's going to be so way outside of your comfort zone. It's crazy. The Lovers is here. So again, could be romantic, could be platonic, could be a choice that you're making to get out of the comfort zone finally after some sort of revelation. But the Seven of Cups is here. This is highly emotionally volatile for you. I'm saying emotionally volatile because the seven of Cups, the Four of Cups, and the Nine of Cups are all around the Knight. It feels like, wait, what am I sitting here for? I got to go do this. Like, that's what it feels like. So tell me what the outcome is here for Virgo. Took you a long time to come to this realization that you had to, it's like a major shift here because the World is here. You're never going to be the same after this. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Six of Cups. We've got the King of Wands and the Ten of Swords. Yeah, you are letting something go. I feel like as you let something go, it feels like you have a revelation of wisdom. And you're inspired to do something. The Six of Cups is here. So it feels like something nostalgically is inspiring you to move forward. It feels like something you've always wanted to do, or I just wish I'd had enough what's the word? Bravery to do that. And I think that the King of Wands tells me you're brave enough to do that. The Ten of Swords is here. It's almost like relief. Look, the Ten of Swords can be a betrayal. It can be all the hard stuff, right? But in this case, it almost feels like it's a breath of fresh air, that you realize I never did have to hold on to that. I can let it go. What's coming up around the corner is the Queen of Wands. Okay, it could be romantic for you, or somebody that you feel mirrors you. We have the Ace of Swords and the Three of Wands. I feel like you're answering some sort of call with the Judgment card to go off into the future and have adventure. Yeah, I think that sometimes you get stuck in your, like, you're not a fixed sign, but sometimes I feel you that way because you're so very careful. Like, it's not that you can't change because you're a mutable sign. It's not that you can't change or don't entertain other ideas, but you need so much data in order to be able to make a change that that I feel like it almost can look a little stubborn, and it's not. I feel like it's just that you don't have enough data. So I feel like once you do have enough data, I feel like you're ready to make a bold move into the future. And the Ace of Swords tells me revelation. Aha, there it is. There it is. I must move forward. So I feel like all of the information you gathered in the Hermit energy, and then this big awakening tells me you've got your answer, and now it's time to move forward. And we've got the Nine of Swords. Why is that? Because the Nine of Wands is here. But what if I get hurt doing it? What if you do? The Queen of Wands says you're made of rubber. I'm just going to bounce back. Just take your first aid kit with you. Just in case you fall and scrape your knees, right? We got the Ace of Wands in the reverse. So it feels like there is something here that you want to accomplish, or you've had the realization that you can accomplish, whether it is romantic or platonic or a job or whatever this is. You're having a massive realization. I could have always done that. I've always had the skills to do it, Six of Cups. But it feels like you're finally having this big revelation that now is the time to do it. Because judgment is never going to leave you alone. When something's meant for you, it's never going to pass you by. It may pass you by for a moment when you tell it to go away, but it's going to keep coming back and say, hey, is now the time? Are you ready right now? Do you have enough information? And I think you do have enough information. We've got Aquarius energy and, excuse me, Sagittarius. We've got Pisces and Gemini. We've got Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We've got all three here. We've got more Piscean energy. We've got Leo. We've got the sun is out for you here, friend. We've got Scorpio a couple of times. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. That's what tells me it's taken a really long time for you to make the shift. And we've got your energy, Virgo, a couple of times here along with Piscean energy. All right. Libra, how you doing? Saw one of my favorite Libras last night. He is a musician. He's a wonderful pianist. And how are you? I hope you're well. Let's find out what's going on for you for the next 7 days. Tell me about Libra. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Libra. Okay, get out of the deck then if you want to get out. We've got the Queen of Cups. We've got the King of Swords. Somebody's making a very serious emotional decision here. I think we've kind of been on this timeline for you for a little bit. We've got the Nine of Wands and the World card. Oh, this is very interesting because the Queen of Cups is here. And that is that beautiful emotional depth that you have, right? I feel... Well, I think I feel you that way. I think I feel Libra that way because I'm also Venusian, right? We love love, right? So I feel that with the Queen of Cups showing up here, it's just telling me that you're a very deeply feeling, emotional kind of person, but you probably don't show it on the surface all that often because the King of Swords is here, and that's the stoicism of swords. It's the logic part of it. Well, why would I show all those emotions on the surface and be vulnerable like that? But the Nine of Wands is here. I really think that somebody here is... feeling something deeply that they're not actually saying because they don't have enough data to support that I make this decision right now. The Nine of Wands and the World are here because I feel that somebody here feels as though if I make this decision without enough data, I could really get hurt, and I'm hurt enough. So I want to say that somebody here is sort of at this place of this might be the last shot. I might just do this, and if it doesn't work out, then I feel like I'm just going to shift away from that because the World card is here. And the World card is milestone. It is milestone, it is achievement, but it's also the closing of an old chapter. So I feel like it's because it's against the Nine of Wands, it feels like you could be closing an old chapter of being in this wounded warrior energy. So it does feel like somebody is feeling very deeply, emotionally deep about something, but not showing it on the surface. It feels like you are probably, I feel like whenever I see, this is the only queen in this deck, it's the Force Tarot, that to me is wearing their heart on their sleeve. And maybe because she's holding out that cup right at the heart level here, it's, she or he, right? Wearing the heart on the sleeve. And I think that terrifies you just a little bit because when you've done that before, shown your deeply emotional side, I think that somebody, I think the white underbelly got scarred. You know what I mean? Like the vulnerability of it. Yeah, the Three of Swords is here. That's what it feels like. Somebody here is scared to show their vulnerable side. So I think you approach everybody as the King of Wands. Somebody who has a lot of wisdom, somebody who is very confident and inspiring. And I feel like you face forward with that face because I feel like it doesn't allow anybody to see your scars. Yeah, because the Three of Swords is here. We do have the Six of Wands. It feels like there is a discipline of the emotions because I've been hurt before. And it really does feel like, you know how a dog or a cat rolls over on its back and it really trusts you and you get to give it a belly rub, right? It feels like somebody has hurt you that way before, that you were very emotionally open and that someone really did hurt you. The Three of Swords. Yeah, I'm just looking at this Three of Swords. Sorry, caught my eye. Yeah, it feels like it was a really painful, friend. It feels like it was very painful. So I'm going to say that the Chariot is here. The thing is that I think that you want some sort of victory or success, or maybe you find victory in keeping your feelings tucked away. You come off as this very confident sort of person who's quite inspiring to others and who is very autonomous, I would say. You're probably single, or you do things alone, or you prefer to do it that way. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the Four of Cups. Oh, we have the Hierophant. This is giving me, the Knight of Cups is coming up below the Chariot. So I think something moved too fast in the past. It feels like this Knight of Cups is telling me, but you know what my problem is I always fall in love with potential. Guilty as charged. I always fall in love with potential. I'm a Pisces moon, right? I see the potential in someone before they see it in themselves, and sometimes that person never reaches their own potential. It's just my psychic energy really sees the future of what could be, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the 3D part of it, right? So I feel like somebody here, I think that you, Libra, fall in love with potential, that you sort of have this sort of I love kind of fantasy energy about you. And I feel as though something here, the reason that you no longer show your feelings on the surface is because you've been hurt too many times. I feel like you're a person who likes to stay by yourself or stay at home or stay in your comfort zone. And I feel like nobody can change that about you. The Hierophant just showed up. It feels like you feel the most safe, the most in control, the most structured, I would say, when you are in your comfort zone, and the comfort zone for you is emotional. Four of Cups is here. That's the best place to get your stability of your emotions. I think that you're still healing from something here because the Four of Cups is here next to the Knight, and the Knight carries one cup. That's 5. It feels like you're still healing from something here. And I would venture a guess that somebody here is healing from some sort of commitment. Could be marriage, could be relationship. It feels like with the World card here that possibly something came to an end. The World card is below the Knight of Cups. That's how I read. I blend the energies. And so it feels like somebody here has had an ending of a commitment, some sort of commitment, whatever that means to you. And it feels like somebody here is in their comfort zone. And that's why you don't show your feelings on the surface. We've got the 9. Is it the 9? Oh, it's the Knight. The Knight of Pentacles is in the reverse. It's where you're stuck. If you stay there too long, you will be stuck. So it feels like you're not going anywhere, not moving anywhere. You've built quite an emotionally stable structure of being by yourself. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the 8 of Wands. We've got the Temperance card. And we've got the Page of Swords. So it feels like there is going to be some sort of possibly a messenger, communicator. Feels like someone who communicates probably spiritual. I'm going to say Temperance is here because, and the communication feels like spiritual or grounded, or feels like somebody you really like to talk to, I would say. And the 8 of Wands is here. Feels like rapid communication. Yeah. Something is moving forward quickly here into Temperance. Healing. So maybe it's your healing, but also Temperance to me is integration of everything. Everything comes to a head or comes to a moment where we finally say something or talk about it. Messenger. Somebody's learned something, because I always see the page as the student who's willing to dig for more information. It does feel like your outcome is healing quickly, rapid healing, because of something that you might realize through something you might dig up in your memory bank. Oh, just as I said that, the 6 of Cups comes out. So it does feel like a nostalgic memory that I think that the 3 of Wands is telling me, look, I can move into the future. I don't have to repeat the past. You don't have to repeat the past. Say it with me. You don't have to repeat the past. It's not like there is some big force out there is going to make the next relationship repeat the past. If you've chosen to change, world card, if you've chosen to change and shift your mind, your frame of mind, there's no reason why you would be hurt. I feel that you are somebody who's just really focused on your pentacle world. So the King of Pentacles has shown up. I think right now you are probably focused on you, whatever that means to you. It could be if you are somebody who is an entrepreneur, a musician, somebody who does something that is outside the realm of the 9 to 5. It feels like you're just very focused on growing that right now, growing your own kingdom. And I feel as though this 6 of Cups tells me that every once in a while this nostalgic energy comes knocking on the door. I don't think it's literally, I think it's emotionally, and I feel like you are ready to leave that place. I think you just need to leave that place, friend. I know it's hard. I know. I think that's why you focus so hard. That might be why you're so good at what you do. Whatever it is I'm talking about, whatever it is that you do. It feels like that's why you're so good at it, because you take all of this. That's why sometimes why a musician, the difference between a good musician, bad musician, just talking about that because my friend is a musician, is being vulnerable. If you can be vulnerable and not worry about what anybody's thinking about you, then you can be really good at what you do. And I think you're very focused on you at this time. We do have the 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, I think you would rather be alone right now. It feels like somebody here would rather be alone, be on the outside looking in. It feels like you just want a little bit of autonomy. I don't want people, like you would go there with your own vehicle. No, I don't want to take a ride. You know what I mean? Like it feels like I'm saying, because I'm feeling like you, it feels like that you're like, no, I'll go on my own. I'll show up when I want and then I'll leave when I want. It feels like you just need this autonomy to be able to do whatever you want with yourself right now. The Knight of Wands is here. 6 of Wands, Knight of Wands. Sorry, no glasses. No grannies on. Knight of Wands. So, look, Knight of Wands and the 10 of Cups. Look, I feel like you're going to get out of this 9 of Wands. You're going to drop this burden. Just be patient with yourself, I'm going to say. You don't have to make any big decisions right now. Just be patient with yourself. I feel like things do begin to pick up, and I feel like you will come out of your comfort zone. But sometimes we just need to be there because we do. Yeah, you'll realize that change is needed because the World card is here. We've got Sagittarius. We've got Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Taurus energy a couple of times here. You're standing on business, friend. We've got Cancer, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We've got Virgo and Sagittarian energy a couple times. We've got Scorpio energy here. We've got Libra, Cancer, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. This might be a realization you have in this season of Leo. And we have Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo with the World card. All right. Scorpio, how you doing? I hope you are well, Scorpio. Got to see one of my favorite Scorpios last night while I was out with friends. Let's find out what is going on with Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the next 7 days, Scorpio. Let's find out what's going on for you. Tell me about Scorpio. We've got the Hanged Man. You're in a bit of a thought process, it looks like. Trying to see something from a different point of view. It's the 10 of Cups. Oh, that's interesting. Because it feels like somebody here is like, maybe it's time for me to get out of a pause. Maybe I've gotten my perspective. Well, maybe not just quite yet. Maybe you're trying to get perspective on the 10 of Cups. It feels like, what does happiness look like to you is what you're trying to figure out here. Because everybody has their own brand of happiness, right? We have the 10 of Wands here. Tower. I like this tower. It's one of my favorites. It's beautiful. So I feel like it feels like you've been holding back from the 10 of Cups. Dare I say, it feels like you know that you can be as happy as you could ever be, but you're not taking steps toward it because of something that I feel you're carrying. So the 10 of Wands is like heavy, right? You're carrying something heavily here, and it feels like it is an emotional thing. Now, this 10 of Cups could represent a lot of things, but to me it feels like it's representing possibly a family or a group of people that felt like family. I feel like your feeling about the 10 of Cups is a little bit heavier than other people. And I feel as though you are realizing that you can put down that description of the Ten of Cups. I feel like you have realized with the Tower here, through perspective, that the Ten of Cups is whatever you call it. Look, there is no amount of money I can make in my whole life that is going to make me feel successful. But I'm a mother of a great human. And that is what my Ten of Cups is. So your Ten of Cups can be whatever you want it to be. And so I feel like you have realized that you're getting this perspective that I don't have to carry on with the old definition of the Ten of Cups. That definition can change based on who you are. And I feel like you're now open to that, or maybe if you weren't, the Tower's here for that. It feels like a perspective is reached, or a realization comes out of being in this pause. And it does feel like you are deciding that maybe you were in something that was long term that had to do with your emotions, whether it was a job or a relationship or whatever it was, and that you don't have to identify that anymore. You don't have to identify with that, because not every Ten of Cups that shows up is going to be the same. And especially not now, because you've had a perspective. We've got the Nine of Cups. Yeah, I like that. The Three of Wands. And we have the Lovers in reverse. So it feels like you're not really ready to make a choice to move forward into the expanse of the Three of Wands, because that's the rest of the adventures of your life, right? I feel like right now you're working on yourself, your self-happiness, because the Nine of Cups is here. So I feel like you are working on being happy alone first. I think this is a grand idea, because you always have to remember that you are attracting what you are. There's no other way. Look, you can temporarily attract what you are not, but it's going to crash and burn. So I feel like somebody here has realized that I have to come to a perspective about how I define the Ten of Cups. But first, I must get my own shit together. So somebody here is like, I have to be this person who is so happy on the inside and on the outside, and that I've built that happiness on my own, and then I'll be ready to define the Ten of Cups and take it on as is. But I think that you've realized that this heaviness doesn't have to be, unless you haven't realized that it doesn't have to be, the Ten of Cups doesn't have to be heavy. And what I mean by that is maybe you had a joyful thing come to an end, or maybe it just became really heavy. It feels like the Ten of Cups just didn't work out for you. And so the Lovers is in the reverse. I'm going to say you're not making a choice at this time about what you're doing in the future. But I think right now is a time where you're getting perspective about how can I get myself in an emotionally happy place where I no longer need the external validation of anyone, romantic or platonic. We've got the Ace of Swords. We've got the Eight of Swords in the reverse. I like that. And we have the Six of Pentacles. So it does feel like, it feels like you have been wanting to talk to or give reciprocal energy to someone who I feel you've had a revelation about. Okay, that's probably what it is. So it does really feel like somebody here is like, you know what, maybe in the past you're like, I'm not going to get involved with anybody ever again because the Ten of Cups just doesn't work out for me. It ends up being a really heavy load for me to carry, right? The Ten of Wands, it weighs me down. And I think that somebody here has shown up who's giving you a different perspective. And I think that's why that the Ace of Swords is here and the Tower is here, because now in speaking with someone, you realize that you don't have to carry around the heaviness of what the definition was of the Ten of Cups in the past. You can redefine the Ten of Cups, and it feels like you come to an aha moment with the Ace of Swords and the Tower, and that's what gets you out of the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is in the reverse now. You're no longer overthinking it. So the Six of Pentacles, it's through a conversation that you're going to have with somebody, and it could be in the next 7 days, or maybe you've already had that conversation, but it feels like there is somebody here who is willing to be your friend, I would say. I'm just looking at this here. You can see that the Three of Pentacles is on the shelf, the Two of Pentacles is on the shelf, and the one in the hand of the Witch is the Sixth Pentacle. So I'm going to say, looking at that, it feels like you're making a decision to be in partnerships or make friends that you know that you don't have to rush in to the Ten of Cups. And it feels like there is somebody here who's specifically giving you a seed. So somebody who loves to give you reciprocal energy, somebody who is highly intelligent, possibly. Ace of Swords is here. Feels like we talk about intelligent things. This person is changing your mind or getting you out of your head. And I think that they're just a friend. There's somebody who is in your Three of Pentacles, your group of people you trust, I would say. Collaborative people. We do have the Six of Cups here. So I feel like this person is dispelling old thought patterns for you, because the Six of Cups is here and it's leaning into the Tower. So it feels like this person is like, oh, okay. Well, not everybody has to be like that. Like, some people think that when you're mad at somebody that you got to avoid them at all costs, but you don't. You can choose other way to deal with it, right? You can choose another way. And that is to just not avoid them, but not call them over either. It can be just in a space of gray, right? It doesn't have to be yes or no, the lights are on or off. It can be in a space of gray. I feel like that if somebody here that you're going to speak to is going to dispel the myth of what the Ten of Cups has to be. It doesn't have to be anything that anyone else has defined for you. It's something that you define after you're in the Nine of Cups. After you are in the wish fulfillment, then you can think clearer, Ace of Swords, about what the Ten of Cups means to you. Tell me what the outcome is, please, for Scorpio. We've got the Judgment card, we've got the Five of Cups, and we've got the Star. Interesting. The outcome says to me that you are now on another path, or it's time for you to make a 180. You need to change your mind. You need to change some things. It feels like there is transformation happening here. You're in a time of transformation. You are also in this time of, with the Five of Cups here, it feels like that you have realized that you can heal some sort of sadness or regret of something that didn't work out. It feels like that's what the Ten of Cups means to you. It feels heavy, and that's what I was feeling. It feels heavy. But when the Judgment card is here, it's like it's going to keep showing up and making you realize that you had defined the Ten of Cups that way because that didn't work out. You thought it was Ten of Cups and you attached some negativity to it. It doesn't have to be that way. So I feel like the Five of Cups and the Judgment card here is saying you can turn it all around. You don't have to be sad. You don't have to be regretful, because the Star is here and it's hopeful and it's healing. And it's really thinking about, like, it's Aquarian energy, right? It's really learning how to carry emotions without getting overwhelmed by them, I would say. Tell me what is around the corner for Scorpio. We've got the Emperor. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. Oh, I love that. It tells me you're in charge of your path. I like that. So it feels like this Emperor energy is like you're pulling in your ability to be able to conquer whatever it is that you want to conquer. Standing in your power, I would say. Making all the decisions unilaterally. This is the path that you're on right now. And where does it lead to? It leads to temperance. It leads to healing. It leads to this confident place of contentment. So give yourself some time, because I think you're on some sort of a long journey here, I will say. And it feels like you're partway through your journey here of redefining the Ten of Cups. It feels like you are becoming the Emperor, building an empire, becoming autonomous. This is the way it's going to go because I said so. But it feels like this is a new path for you. So it feels like you were sort of maybe, okay. Charlie just showed me a knight taking a knee to a queen. So maybe, I don't know if I'm talking about a masculine or a feminine, but it feels like somebody felt like they had to bend the knee. Like I had to do whatever you said. And I didn't feel like I could do whatever that person said anymore. But I think that's what happened in your Ten of Cups. You can redefine that. Yeah. Look, you can redefine that. You can change your mind. The Queen of Swords is just going to speak honestly about, this is how I feel about that whole situation. You're now in this place where I feel you have liberated yourself from an idea system, and now you are on this path of being an autonomous thinker. It feels like somebody else told you what to think, and now you don't have to think how they told you before. It was a manipulation tactic, my friend. We've got the Magician in the reverse, and I think that's what you're healing from. You're healing from the Four of Swords this year. You're healing from some sort of manipulation tactic that somebody had. But once you finally liberated yourself with this Queen of Swords energy, you're now heading toward redefining your life. That's what it feels like on a long path here. We've got Virgo and Pisces, more Pisces. We've got Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Taurus energy. We've got Sagittarius. We've got Scorpio. Sagittarius, Virgo. We've got Gemini. Yeah. Gemini and, Aries. Just my own little word for a second. We've got Aquarius and more Scorpio energy. We've got Pisces a couple of times. So look, hang out in that hanged man energy as long as you have to, until you get your perspective about how you want to redefine your joy or your happiness, your 10 of Cups. As it's nobody else's decision but yours. Sagittarius. How you doing, friends? How are your family? I hope you're well. I was out last night being my old Sagittarius rising self. Right? I was out with an Aries rising, so we were killing it. My bestie. Let's find out what is going on with you, Sag, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the next 7 days. Tell me about Sagittarius. We have the Page of Swords. We have the Three of Swords. Oh, somebody's really coming to a truth or a realization about why the Three of Swords happened here. Ooh, and the Nine of Swords. You've been in your head for a bit. For a minute here, friend, the Eight of Swords, not the Nine of Swords. Sorry, I was counting the page there. And then we have the Sun. Oh, I like it. Look, there's some sort of a revelation or a realization that's happening here, because the page was the first thing that I put down. So it told me that you were thinking about something, but willing to be the student, which tells me that you're flexible and willing to change your mind. And I kind of love that, because you can be a little bit stuck sometimes, right? So the Page of Swords is telling me, after doing a little bit of digging and getting a little bit more information about the Three of Swords, I'm going to stop overthinking that, because now I've come to my realization. I've come to my answer. I feel as though there's something here that you've been thinking about deeply for a while, Sag, and you are now coming to this place where now I can just get out of my head. I think I have the answer. Yeah, you're healing. We've got the Page and then the Three of Swords. That's 4 swords. And I feel like I don't necessarily feel that you were hurt in any way, but I feel like you were stuck in your head, definitely, thinking about something over and over and over again. Tell me more about the Page of Swords. Feels like it's what you're learning about the Three of Swords, why that happened, why the hurt happened. And you can feel bad about it and be angry about it and get into a spiral of stress and anxiety and all of that if you want, but you can think about it in swords as well and say, maybe that's something I have to learn from. We have the Nine of Cups. We have the 10 of Cups, and we have the 8 of Pentacles. There's something here that I feel you've turned it all around, is what it feels like. You've turned it all around, because there is a thing that you've been thinking about that I don't think was making you very happy. It feels like it was very hurtful or disappointing or frustrating, whatever the Three of Swords represents to you. It feels like there was something here that was kind of dark or deep, and then when the Sun came out, it brought you the 9, the 10 of Cups, and the 8 of Pentacles. Now, instead of feeling dark and stuck in your head and feeling like you can't stop thinking about what you said, what you did, what they said, what they did, I think that you've realized that you have a choice here. And when the Sun came out and gave you revelation or realization, it revealed something. And that is, you have a choice. You can be happy if you want with the 9 of Cups. You can be so happy inwardly and outwardly that no one can shake your happiness. And so things that people do to you, things that people say to you when you're truly, truly happy, it doesn't really impact you emotionally. So I'm going to say that you have chosen, after digging up information and looking at the Three of Swords as a lesson, I feel like you decide, 9 of Cups, well, I can be happy if I want to be. I can choose to be in this place where I'm stuck in my head. But I've learned from it, because the Page of Swords is here. The 10 of Cups is here. And the next step is 10 of Cups. So I feel like you're choosing to be happy, because you know why? I think it's Virgo that's saving your butt here, the 8 of Pentacles, because it feels like now, you never become a subject matter expert in anything unless it happens over and over again. Like, maybe you failed the test. Maybe it is a job loss. It feels like something that you've really learned about and you've become the subject matter expert on. And unfortunately for you, Sagittarius, I feel like you have become the subject matter expert because nobody else makes you happy until you realize with the Sun that you have to make yourself happy first. And then you attract what you are, because that's the way it goes. And that's an exciting prospect. It feels like you're at the beginning of a new cycle here, where you've realized that I can be happy if I want to. I just need to choose it. I don't have to be stuck in my head. It's all a learning process, and we should never feel bad about learning about the Three of Swords. That's how we prevent it. We've got the Fool. You're in a new chapter. Oh, and it's coming up above the head of the sun. I love it. Yeah. That's what the sun is revealing. The sun is revealing to you that this is a new day. You can choose your mood, my friend. Yes, there are going to be some things that people do to us that we don't expect and that we did not invite. Absolutely, there's going to be that. But how we deal with it is a choice. Tell me about the Fool. Fight me in the comments. I don't really care. Giving you my wisdom. We've got the Empress here. Oh, I kind of love that. Look, I feel as though you're a person who falls in love with potential, or it feels like you have a very Disney ending kind of energy to you, whoever you are. It feels like you want to see the potential and everything going well. That you will always trust somebody until they give you a reason not to trust them, but by then they probably the damage has already been done. We've got the Fool here. You realize that you have this ability to jump into the new cycle, and the new cycle is the Empress cycle. Look, it feels like you are leaving some sort of vibration. It almost feels as though you had to understand the Three of Swords before you could get into this Empress energy, because the Empress energy is someone who is emotionally aware. And when you're emotionally aware, it becomes a little easier to forgive people because they know not what they do, right? Some people are just wandering around blind, bumping into things because they're not awake, and they aren't really thinking over what they do. They're not awake, they're not aware. And I think that you're realizing that with the Empress energy, that I'm a person who is at this place in my life because I'm sovereign, because I think things through, because I'm truthful and honest with myself and others, because I'm independent. I'm not scared to take a risk. If I fall down, I'll get up again. Fall down 6 times, get up 7, right? It feels like you are in this place where, look, if I got to be here by myself for a while, I will be. I feel like with the Knight of Cups, it is this energy of, I got to stop falling in love with potential. I don't know that you'll ever stop doing that, because I think it's part of who you are, and that makes you lovely. And I feel like you're deeply romantic or deeply emotional. But I think that now you have different boundary system, because the Empress has boundaries. It's usually why the Empress is single for a while. We have the Knight of Wands. I think your boundaries are up from the Knight of Wands. It feels like that was the Three of Swords. So the Knight of Wands is someone who's here for a short time, not a long time, right? They're here for a good time, not a long time. And so I feel like this Knight of Wands energy passed through your life, and possibly you thought it was a long time. And the Knight of Wands was clear that it was not a long time, that it was a good time. And I feel like that person gave you the last lesson, the Three of Swords, before you ended up stepping into the Empress energy. It feels like this lesson, however hard it was, however heartbreaking it was, taught you get the boundaries up. That's Queen of Swords energy. So to me, as a reader, the Queen of Swords is always the last one on the table before we become the Empress. Whether you're the man or the woman Empress, okay? Whether you're the feminine or the masculine. It feels like that somebody came through your life here. You saw the potential in the situation. It was the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands was just here to get what they were going to get, and then they were leaving. And I don't think you realized the terms of the contract. And now you're in the Empress energy. And I don't think anybody's getting past the boundaries, honestly. Because the Fool is here with the Empress. That means that is a really exciting time, but also a bit of a terrifying time, because the Empress has tight boundaries. You'd be surprised how many people you do not want in the yard. How many people you want to meet at the property line once you really are awake and aware. Tell me what the outcome is for Sag. We've got the Eight of Wands. We've got the Judgment card. And we've got the Knight of Swords. You're not afraid to say it. And although I don't think you've ever been afraid to say it, I'm just going to say with the Judgment card here and the Eight of Wands, it feels like velocity toward change. And it feels like the Judgment energy is back and says, see, you should have said it first. And then the Three of Swords wouldn't have happened. But I think that the Three of Swords is supposed to happen so you could learn the lesson. So the Knight of Swords is here. And that is, I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it next time. I don't really care. I'm the Queen of Swords now. I'm just going to say it. So I feel like the Knight of Swords is, I'm just going to deliver that information the way I'm going to deliver that information. And the Judgment card says, I've been asking you to do that forever. So although I think that you are this person who is kind and lovely and loves love and romance and running off into the sunset, I don't think you're dealing with life that way anymore. especially not in social situations. I think the Knight of Wands was here to teach you a lesson, although a harsh one. I think you took it. This person is, if they are a person, is hot, beautiful, talked you into it. Maybe you wanted to be talked into it, right? But that was the lesson that you needed in order to step into your Empress energy. We've got the Ace of Wands, we've got the Four of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. Well, I kind of like that energy because now you realize that you are at the beginning of a really exciting cycle here. It's exciting, it's creative, I can go do what I want, I can make bold moves. It feels like you now realize you truly are in your Empress energy. I can do what I want. The Four of Wands is here and still keep stable, but celebratory, and still have fun. But I feel like the Ten of Pentacles is here to say, but keep track of my time, my effort, my energy, because this is going to be a long-term lesson for you. You're going to be in this Empress energy for the rest of your life once you get there. It feels like a long-term commitment to stability. I'm not going to let anybody take advantage of me with fire anymore, ever. And we've got the Five of Wands. And that's going to be the hardest thing you probably ever do. We've got 10 Wands here now. We got the Five of Wands, the Four of Wands, and the 10 of Wands. It feels like what you're doing is you are you're letting go of burdens, and not only fire burdens, but emotional burdens. It feels like you're letting go of financial burdens. I think you've decided in this Empress energy, I'm just going to focus on me, is what it feels like. Because the Five of Wands is here. Yeah, that is indecision, possibly competition, but also the Four of Wands is here, which is celebration and stability and going to the next level of my life. The next level is the long-term level, is the serious level, I would say, is the one where I'm really watching people and gathering information. That's Virgo, right? I'm watching people, gathering information, letting them come to the property line and looking at them, figuring out who they are before I let them into the yard. So I feel like this Knight of Wands, although somebody who probably smashed your heart, really gave you a very big life lesson. It gave you a lot of wisdom, and now you can inspire others. And hold on to that wisdom, friend. The Four of Pentacles is here next to the King of Wands. Hold on to that wisdom so you can keep inspiring others. We've got Leo energy. We've got Virgo energy. Sagittarius is here. We've got Taurus and Libra energy. We've got Pisces, Aries, more Aries, Virgo. We've got Leo. We've got Pisces energy. Yeah, your intuition is on high, friend. You're like, I understand that lesson now. I'm never going to have to go back there. We've got Virgo and Pisces. So much Pisces energy. We've got Libra and Aquarius. All right, all right. Let's talk about Capricorn. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the next 7 days. My bestie is a Capricorn. The one who is the Aries rising. So I'm the Sag rising, and she's the Aries rising, and no one ever realizes that we are Taurus and Capricorn suns until they hit the wrong button. We're always there to have fun. Let's find out what's going on with you, Capricorn. Tell me about Capricorn, please. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. We've got the Hierophant, really serious about work. Oh, yeah. So we've got the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. We've got the King of Pentacles in the reverse. It feels like somebody's here really, really serious about building stability and structure. So I think that you are very focused on whatever it's taking in your life to do that. Practical structure, it could be something that you're learning. You could be back at school, but it also could be financial structure, right? Pentacles aren't always money, but this could be a financial structure. I'm looking at the Eight of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles to me is somebody who's got a really good eye for detail, probably goes back to school, becomes a subject matter expert on something. So possibly you end up getting your bachelor, master's, doctorate in something. It feels like it's going to change. It's going to stabilize or change your financial situation. We've got the King of Pentacles in the reverse and the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. So I feel like you're working on what you want your future to look like. You haven't really settled on one thing yet, but I feel like you're really building toward your future. But it also feels like you realize it's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of stability. You possibly have had a financial impact maybe recently or maybe long ago, and you're still trying to recover from it. But with the Hierophant here, I think that there is a commitment that you're making to your pentacle world. So that's time, effort, energy, money, health. It could be a new health regimen that you're learning more things about your health because your health has been impacted over time. It feels like somebody's making a really big change here and sticking with it. Because look, the Hierophant is Taurus, and Taurus isn't playing. Taurus is going to make the decision, stick with the decision, and never give up on the decision. So you are stepping into something that you're not stepping back on. No cha-cha time here. We're just going forward with whatever the Pentacles are. Tell me what the Eight of Pentacles is. We've got the Nine of Cups. I think you're happy with your decision. I think what you're looking for is alignment, I'm going to say. Not only just being happy on the inside and the outside, but you're looking for total alignment. To me, the Cups are emotional happiness, and the Pentacles are all, oh, it's 1 4 4 4 4 just now, is all practical happiness. I'm going to say that you are a person who is looking at alignment with your emotional and your practical world. You want it within both, and I don't think you're willing to compromise on that. I'm just going to say, even the guy on the Nine of Cups has their arms crossed, which is no. It's being shut off, right? So it's like it's my way or the highway kind of time for you here. We do have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, and we have the Two of Swords. Look, I feel like you are making some really big changes here, Capricorn, and anybody who's breadcrumbing you, out. Yep. The Two of Swords is telling me I'm at a big crossroads in my life, and I have kept the blindfold on for long enough. That's what it feels like. I've let people get away with shit. I have been kind and compassionate and helped them out and all of that stuff. It really does feel that somebody here has decided I'm at a crossroads. If I'm going to be in alignment with myself on the inside and the outside, in my emotions and in my pentacle world, then I have to make some changes. And those changes start with backing away from the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. If somebody is not giving you reciprocal energy, you're not doing it. Nope, screw that. No more. No more playing Mr. or Mrs. Nice Guy. We've got the Ten of Cups. You're going to live in your Ten of Cups. You want to live in joy and happiness and be with the people who are, and this Ten of Cups is next to the Eight of Pentacles. There are people in your life who are cheering you on currently. And I think that you need to work on, I think that what you are working on, I think it's your decision. I'm not telling you to do it. I feel like you're about quantity, or about quality rather than quantity, because the Eight of Pentacles is here. I'm into quality joy, not quantitative joy. No, I don't care if I'm in a group of 100 people who want to talk about the weather. I want to be with 4 people who really want to talk about my joys and the things that make me joyful. We've got the King of Cups here. The rest of them are getting the stoic face. They're getting the poker face. They are the Nine of Wands. Suspicious. The look on that Nine of Wands face is hilarious. Look at that King of Cups and the Nine of Wands looking at each other. And it feels like here this King of Cups is like, no, I'm looking at the Nine of Wands and I'm not letting anybody get away with that anymore. No, I'm not going to live in the Nine of Wands. I don't have to. I choose not to. So I feel like you're giving people the stoic face. People, I don't think that you're calling people out. I don't think you're that kind of person, Capricorn, whether it comes up in your sun, moon, rising, Venus or Jupiter. I don't think you're that kind of person to call them out, because you don't want the angst. You don't want the problem, the argument. I think that you are just going to go silent, whether you're standing in their face or on the phone or on social media. It feels like you just go silent, because I'm tired of living in this Nine of Wands with you, that you think that you can just make me wait and wait and wait. It feels like you were not getting reciprocal energy from a person, or maybe more than one, because we've got a lot of pentacles here. It could be even an employer. Maybe you've quit work and gone back to school, or you're thinking about doing that because you're at a crossroads, right? It's like you've had the blindfold on long enough. It's time for you to use your intuition to figure out what to do from here. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah. It's time to build something. It's time to build something, which is going to include maybe a business or your confidence, maybe the work that you're doing, maybe how you're changing your health, your time, your effort, your energy. Maybe you're going back to school, and all of that is going to lead to this place where you can be autonomous. You can now make decisions about your time, effort, and energy. I always say that that's where the wealth is. Like, I mean, you can worship money if you want, but if you get sick, you have no time, right? Even money can't help that. So in most cases, it can't help that, especially if it's something serious that is impacting your health. So the Nine of Pentacles is telling me I need to put myself in a place where I am wealthy. And I think that's your time, effort, and energy. That's where the wealth is. When you can say, no, I'm not going to set the alarm today. Or you can say, no, I don't think I'm going to do that today. I don't have to work that hard today because I worked hard enough yesterday. It feels like that's where you want to be, in a place where you don't have to take direction. You don't have to punch in and out. I feel like you're probably getting better health, better education, because you no longer want to be vulnerable and impacted in those areas in your life. Tell me what the outcome is. We have the 10 of, not the 10 of, we got the Chariot, we got the 4 of Wands, and we've got the Queen of Pentacles. I love that. I love that for you, because that is going to the next level in your Pentacles, friend. In your Pentacles, and that's you, right? That's Capricorn energy. So it feels like you get the quick victory here. If you keep, the Pentacles are always about repetition, right? Work, eat, sleep, or whatever it is that is building something brick by brick by brick, pentacle by pentacle. And it tells me that you're going to the next level. You might even be able to buy a house, or sell a house and buy a new one, or move, or whatever is going to be celebratory about your stability. I feel like you're going to be celebrating your stability, my friend. It's all because you had a plan. I think that this hermit energy that you've been in, or had been in the past, maybe it was a dark night of the soul, that you found your light and you realize what the plan is going forward, and you're organizing it all because that's who you are. The CEO, right? All these pentacles being here. It feels like I got to get organized and focus on me and do this thing for myself instead of making sure everybody else has what they need. We have the 7 of Pentacles, we have the 5 of Cups, and we have the Knight of Swords. It tells me that you're probably going to have to ignore some people. Yeah, because that 6 of Pentacles is in the reverse, and then the 5 of Cups is here. I don't think you feel good about it, because you're kind, right? You do want to see people do well, but you can't continue to allow them to breadcrumb you. And then when you need them, it's crickets, right? So we've got the 7 of Pentacles. I think you're going to be very patient. Take your time. I think you're going to be very intentional about who you give your time, effort, and energy or money to. And it feels like with the 5 of Cups, not everybody's going to be happy. And some of them are going to express that to you, because we have the Knight coming in with messages about sadness. Somebody's going to say, hey, how come you haven't been calling me? Or how come I haven't seen you in a while? And you're just going to say, well, because you haven't called. We've got the Page of Wands. So I feel like this is, you're at the beginning of a journey. It is exciting. I'm going to say it's exciting because I feel like you feel in charge of you for the first time. You feel in charge of all of your 3D commodities. Instead of giving them all over to every place, to everyone, every situation that asks it of you, I feel like you're now standing on business. All these pentacles are here, standing on business. I need to do it for me. It feels like somebody is now in a cycle of focusing on self finally. You're no longer focusing on other people and what their needs are. You could be an empty nester. You could be somebody whose kids have now got their own lives, and you're like, now it's time for me. And I don't really care how they feel about that. We've got the Sun. I love it. Oh, look at that. It's bringing beautiful, exciting offers to you here. So I feel like there is, it feels like there are some offers that'll be revealing themselves to you that will transform some sort of exciting path that you're going to be on. I think you might already know because the High Priestess is here, but I think that that's why you are getting into this really good, feels like a very intentional cycle for you. All right, we've got the Sun, Leo energy, we've got Virgo, Sagittarius, Gemini, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. We've got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, lots of pentacles here. And more Taurus. The Hierophant is here, commitment to self. And then we have the Chariot, Cancer energy, and more Virgo and Scorpio energy. Okay. Aquarius. Tell me what's going on with Aquarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. How are my Aquas? How you doing? Look, a friend of mine has someone in their family who's an Aquarius. That person only has 26 people on their Facebook. And that person wants to be my friend. And I was like, yeah, look, if you make the short list for Aquarius, you're in. You're in. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Let's find out what's going on for Aquarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the next 7 days. Tell me about Aquas. We've got the Empress in the reverse. We've got the Queen of Cups in the reverse. We've got the deck in the reverse. It is what it is. We've also got the Page of Swords is in the reverse. And we've got the Six of Wands. Okay, well, that's very interesting. It feels like there is maybe a moment of instability, I'm going to say here, in the emotions. Just stay with me. Don't click off just yet. It feels like there's a little bit of instability in the decision-making process about your emotions. So the Page of Swords in the reverse isn't really using logic, isn't really able to express themselves. And I think it's because the Queen of Cups is in the reverse and is feeling too emotional. So I think there's something here that you do want to say, but it feels as though you're feeling too emotional to say that. And look, when you're emotional, it's best for you not to speak because it comes out all wrong, right? Then you're just raw and you're just like King of Swords energy. So I feel like this Empress in the reverse, it does feel like there has been something here that you don't feel as abundant about. You don't feel as stable. Like you don't feel as, I would say, what's the word? You don't feel as confident about it as you used to. And it feels like it's attached to some sort of emotional upheaval that you're having. Look, you will have the victory here. I feel like it could have something to do with attention, could have something to do with ego. It feels like maybe you think that somebody's in their ego. You could be in your ego. But it does feel like somebody here is, with the Page of Swords in the reverse, is really trying to reason with their emotions. You know that never works. You never win. You never win when you're reasoning with your emotions. Tell me why the Empress is truly in reverse, please. It feels like there is somebody here. I'm just going to say, if this is a romantic reading for you, it feels like there's somebody here, feminine or masculine, who is a fake-ass Empress. And that might be a reason that you are struggling with your emotions or how to say something. It feels like it's a discovery. If this is a Six of Wands energy, right? The sun is on. It's like a discovery that came out into the open. And so when the Empress is in the reverse, if we're looking at something that has to do with relationship or relationship like emotional romantic stuff, the Empress in the reverse can be somebody who has children, is a terrible parent. Somebody who wears a nice suit and drives a good car, has their hair and their nails did, but they're just like a one marble rolling around. Like they have no moral value or no moral compass. This is somebody who looks like the thing that they say they are, but they are not that thing on the inside. And it almost feels like somebody here is realizing that. And it's like you're trying to search your emotions about whether you should feel in Swords or whether you should feel in Cups about that. Whether you should feel emotional or logical. I think that because we're dealing with the Page and it's in the reverse, you're having a hard time coming to terms with something emotionally, is what it feels like. We do have the King of Pentacles, in the reverse, because I think that you really gave a lot of energy, time, effort, energy, or money to the situation. It feels like you're dealing in an impact of some sort that has made an impact, a negative impact, because I'm seeing red. Somebody's bank account here, I'm seeing a minus. And it's in red in brackets. So it feels like it made a negative impact on you. Because something here is coming out into the sunlight here. The Nine of Pentacles is here. And the Page of Wands is here. So I'm just going to say that I think that with the Nine of Pentacles and the King in the reverse here, it feels like somebody dipped into your funds. Or somebody here has... I feel like you took a long time to build something, is what it feels like. You built something from the ground up, and I feel like now you're having a negative impact on whatever it is that you built. Built a house, built a business, whatever it is that you built, confidence. It feels like now you're having a really big impact in that. Maybe it was your health, but the Page of Wands is here. And so I'm going to say that the Page of Wands tells me that it was probably over passion. Maybe it started over passion. I feel like somebody here is really immature, and I think you were dealing with somebody, like I said, who looked like an Empress, whether they're a woman or a man, but when it came down to it and you really got to know who they were just there to take advantage of you. Because I never met an Aquarius that wasn't humanitarian. And I think that now you're feeling a type of way about that because it's coming out into the light here, and you don't, it's like you're trying to hold back. I'm going to say this is indecision, right? We've got the Five of Wands. You're battling yourself, trying to hold back the emotions, because when the Queen of Cups is in the reverse for me, that is emotional depletion. You've given everything. You've given all of your emotions. You've given all of your time. You've tried to stay in your swords. I feel like there's something here that you're like, you know what? Now that I don't know if it's the bank account, if it's your health, maybe your mental health, because when the Empress is in the reverse, the Queen of Swords is also in the reverse, and that can be a person who's really hard on your mental health. They pick at you and pick at you until you just can't handle it anymore. Tell me more. We've got the Hermit energy, we've got the Star, and we've got the Magician. I think that you just need to spend some time with you. Yeah, it feels like you really need to spend some time with you. With the Hermit energy here, it does feel like I've just got to go within and figure out who I am. Who am I? Because when we have a situation like this and you thought you knew what it was and it wasn't really that, you start to question the self, right? And that's also the Page of Swords in the reverse. So it does feel like this Star is here for a reason. I feel like you go into this Hermit energy or this place by yourself and you stay there for a while, probably till September. I'm going to say like somebody feels like they were really manipulated financially, emotionally. The Star is here. I think you're going to try and find hope in all of this. I think you're going to try and heal, going to try and manifest the Magician. And so the Magician is here and you're like, okay, what tools do I have in my tickle trunk? I gotta pick up one of the aces and go. We've got the Six of Cups, but it's the nostalgia that holds you back. So I feel like although you realize that you are the person who is in charge of your reality, like the ball's in your court, I think it's a little bit too late because I feel like the damage has already been done. Somebody here's taken advantage of your kind heart. I'm sorry. It's like you couldn't see it. You couldn't see it from a distance. But, you know, when you're dealing with an Empress, man or a woman, that person looks really good. And when they're in the reverse, they're really good at putting on the facade because they know what it's supposed to look like, but they truly aren't that on the inside. What's the outcome? Yeah, I think you left somewhere here. We've got the Six of Swords, we've got the Eight of Swords, and the Five of Swords. All swords. Yeah, you're up in your head here. Especially with this Eight of Swords, you go directly into overthinking it. It's the first thing you do, right? You start playing the relationship from the beginning to the end, or the conversation from the beginning to the end, thinking. How do I feel as though this wasn't my fault? I don't think it was. I don't think it was anybody's fault, honestly. I feel like it was just something that you wouldn't be able to tell unless you got really close. And I feel like you got really close. So the Six of Swords is telling me I don't need to be in this mental chaos anymore. I really need to be in the calm. I need to get out of my head, but I feel like you're fighting with yourself. I feel like you're blaming you. Stop it. If it's two people, it takes more than one person to make all this stuff. It wasn't you. I think it's probably like I'm smarter than that, or it has nothing to do with that. I think what they were doing is tugging on your heartstrings, because you can say whatever you want about Aquarius, but I know Aquarius has a soft heart. Just guards it with swords. That's all. Tell me what is around the corner for Aquarius. So stop blaming it on you, because it's not all you. It's somebody who took advantage of you as well. Somebody who made you think one way until you got close enough to see that it wasn't the truth. And when you saw the truth, you left. We got the World card. Yeah, something definitely is over. The Judgment card is here with the Seven of Swords. So it feels like you decided to turn away because you realized some sort of a truth that had been hiding. The World card is here. Yeah, this is over, and I feel like it's over because you made a judgment. You decided, yeah, I've got to just walk away and try to salvage. I need to try and redeem myself, is what it feels like. The Seven of Swords is here. Yeah, it was money. I think somebody took advantage of you financially, or might, so please, careful. The Ten of Pentacles is here next to the Seven of Swords. They were lying about how much money they made. That's why they look so good on the outside, right? You can buy whatever you want to make yourself look whatever way you want. Yeah, it doesn't really mean anything. The Two of Pentacles is here. You make a decision to go finally looking for information. the Page of Pentacles is here. 3 Pentacles is here. I think you trusted them because this person was probably a friend, somebody that you started out with in friendship, and so you thought you could trust them. Last card out is the 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups is here, friend. I think that you're feeling regretful that any of this happened, but look, come here. If this is you, look, there are so many ways that we need to learn lessons, and having pitfalls like this is part of life, and it teaches you something, and you will never be taken like this again. I think this person was here to teach you a lesson, but it had to show up in the right packaging or you would have never paid attention. All right, so we've got Scorpio energy here, so that was a harsh ending, I think. We've got Virgo, we've got more Scorpio, we've got the 6 of Wands, which is Leo. We have Aries and Gemini. We have Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Virgo, and Pisces, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Virgo, Taurus, and Libra, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and Cancer at the bottom of the deck. Sorry if that happened to you, friend. All right. My Pisces, always last but never least. And I mean, you can always just jump over everybody and click it. Maybe you're first, who knows? Let's find out what's going on for my water family, my 2 fishes friends. Let's find out what's going on with you. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We have, that's a good way to start. We've got Libra. We've got Justice. Oh, okay. Look, there's some information coming to you, and you're going to be like, I knew it. I knew it. It's like your intuition's going to be confirmed. Yep. 10 of Pentacles and the 3 of Swords. Look, I feel like you got the job. I feel like if this 10 of Pentacles is about a raise, a promotion, a job, being picked as the leader of something, something that feels very abundant to you. It's going to give you stability, going to make you feel good. It feels like this is something you thought wasn't going to work out because the 3 of Swords is here, but I think that the 10 of Pentacles and the Justice card tells me this is your time for a payout. So it feels like whatever it is paying out to you. I don't know if it's money, time, effort, or energy. Maybe it's harmony. Maybe this is a legal thing. I'm just saying, because Libra was the first card out. It looks like some very balanced, harmonious information that is going to restore you financially or restore your health. It feels like you get some good news that is showing up here. I think that you were thinking the worst, 3 of Swords. You were thinking that it wasn't going to work. It was going to be bad news, and I don't think it's going to be bad news at all, Pisces. Tell me about the Justice card. We've got the King of Wands. We've got the Empress here, and we've got the 4 of Wands. It feels like you got the loan. I'm going to say it feels like something you've wanted, an outcome you wanted. It feels like something's being restored. It's like you're being restored, or karma's being paid out. Like it feels like you can start from zero now. It's like our life gets really, 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 really hard until we learn from, even it's like sometimes we make decisions in the past that come and haunt us in our present. And until we work all those things out and we clear all the karma, then things start to get easier. That's what this feels like. It feels like a lot of things had been in a bottleneck or buckling, I would say, that maybe you were dealing with from the past. And I feel like now it feels like you get to move into this very confident, inspiring Empress energy. So you're moving into a new level. You're in a lot of abundance, I would say, because the 10 of Pentacles is here, regardless of what the situation is. And I mean time, energy, effort, health, whatever the 10 of Pentacles is for you. The 4 of Wands is here. You're probably going to end up buying a new house or getting more stability or getting the lease approved or something like that. It feels like going to the next level. So maybe you are about to move and you're getting a nicer place and you get approved for it, or you're buying a house and it, instead of getting approved on the mortgage for what you thought you had to have, now you get to buy what you want. And so I feel like this is all because of a collection of wisdom. So I'm going to say that it feels like you had a lot of stuff in your past that was bottlenecking a little bit, probably for the long last while, like maybe the first half of the year. And I feel like you've cleared the bottleneck. So it feels like you've learned a lot of lessons. With Libra being here at the center of the reading, it feels like karma. So just because we did something back there, like you can make really bad financial decisions and really impact your credit score or whatever in your teens or your 20s, and then it comes back to haunt you when you want to buy the house, right? So it does feel like there is something that is coming to justice. It's being restored. It feels like a really happy time. If this is a legal thing, it feels like you spent a long time here in the Three of Swords thinking it wasn't going to work out. But I think you're going to get some really good news. Somebody here's not beating around the bush. They're just going to say, yes, you got it. Or yes, they ruled in your favor. It's going to be a really quick answer here. We do have, the sun. I like it. We've got the Emperor. What the heck? And then we've got the Star. So I feel like it probably, for some of you, is the Emperor who delivers the information. It feels like somebody's made a ruling. Somebody who's autonomous or has the last word has made a ruling. It feels like they've allowed you to take your power back. The Sun is next to the Emperor. I feel like this person is a person of influence. It feels like they are somebody who has clout, like actual clout, not internet clout. Like this is somebody who really can make a decision that changed the lives of someone. And I think it's about to change yours because the Star is here. This could be someone that you know. It doesn't have to be, but it feels like there's an Emperor and an Empress here, right? I'm just saying that it could be that somebody decides that they want their life to be in harmonious balance with you. It feels like if this is a romantic thing for you, it feels like you go to the next level with somebody who is on your level. So I would say that somebody has either decided to grow enough with the Sun to be on your level, or because that's what the Empress does, right? When people are around the Empress, they see the success, they see harmony, they see somebody who's stable, who's very autonomous. And I feel like somebody here is also having a moment of realization. The Sun is between the Emperor and the Justice card. So it feels like there is a realization, a wild realization. The Star is here. So it does feel, and it's next to the Emperor. So it feels like somebody now finally has hope that something is going to go right. We've got the Eight of Cups. So you get to walk away from the Three of Swords. They're touching on the table. So you get to disconnect from this thing that you thought wasn't going to go right. It does feel like that there is somebody, a person of influence. They could be someone who you are romantically linked to, definitely. But it feels like something here is healing within the Emperor. So the Emperor is making the decision that is going to end up in the Ten of Pentacles, or the Emperor is bringing that information to you. Somebody might be pursuing you if this is romantic for you. I like to read as many perspectives as I can get for you. But it does feel like somebody here, you may have been someone who's been single for a long time or waiting for an answer about this legal thing for a long time. The Empress is next to the Four of Wands. You're going to have something to celebrate soon, whether it's the house, the loan, whether somebody has said something in your favor, or the Emperor has had a realization with the Sun here with the Star that they feel very healed when they're in your presence here. So I feel like the Eight of Cups tells me you are just leaving something behind. It feels like this, look, we have a full moon coming up, right? Full moon coming up on the 29th in Aquarius, and it feels like you are detaching from anything that was attached to the Three of Swords. You're leaving it in the past, and I think that's great. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Page of Pentacles. We've got the Temperance card. Yes, and the Magician. It feels like something within your pentacle world is being healed. Something is integrating. It feels like happiness. It feels like the Sun, the Star, and Pentacles. It feels like something's finally going your way. That's what it feels like here. So the Page of Pentacles is, an offer, a small offer. You could be, if this is Emperor, Empress romantic thing for you, there could be a small offer coming up that feels really good because Temperance is here. This is contentment, right? When Temperance shows up, you always know when Temperance has arrived because it's like, oh yeah, that feels really good for a change. So the Magician is here. And I feel like with the Temperance and the Magician side by side, it feels like you're about to create a reality or making a series of decisions that is really going to be of benefit to your health, benefit to your mental health, right? We've got all of the aces that are up the sleeve of the Magician. It's all within your reach now. So something you thought was not within your reach is going to be within your reach, whether that's romantic or a loan or a job. It feels like something you thought would never work out for you, would never pan out for you. Three of Swords is something that you can now detach from because it's actually working out in your favor. What's around the corner? We've got the Knight of Pentacles, we've got the Knight of Wands, oh gosh, and the Nine of Pentacles. Look, it feels like something that took a long ass time, like years and years and years, now is coming at you full bore, because the Knight of Wands is facing the Knight of Pentacles. It's like somebody's like, will you hurry up, buddy? Come on, we got things to do. Something here goes from moving really slow to moving really quickly. Nine of Pentacles. That's it, man. That's your autonomy, your stability, your ability to make decisions about money, time, effort, energy, health. You're doing it all on your own. It feels like you're very happy with some sort of a windfall, as you would see it. Whatever the windfall is, doesn't always have to be money, right? And it's because somebody of influence stood up for you, or stepped up for you and said, no, that's not how it goes. Yeah, this person deserves their money. They deserve to be in the Nine of Pentacles. They worked hard for it. The Hanged Man is here. And the Hanged Man is getting perspective, or looking at something with perspective. It feels like the thing that was moving really slow starts to speed up, but I think that you are still a little bit suspicious. I'm going to say you're a little bit suspicious because maybe things haven't worked out for you for a while. So you're a little bit suspicious. The Hanged Man is here. You're looking at it with perspective going, wait, what? You said yes? Like it's actually going to work? Like that's what it feels like here. Tell me about the Hanged Man. Ace of Cups. That's what it is. So whether it is the pentacles we're talking about, the money, the loan, the house, the moving, or we're talking about love, it turns out being Ace of Cups. It's more than you need. It's overflowing joy, happiness. We've got the Nine of Swords into the Four Swords. So the Nine of Swords says, I was really, really scared, like worried that this was never going to work out, but I think now is going to be my time to heal. So now you got to switch gears. Look at that. You've got the decision maker. Somebody here is deciding something in your favor. And the Strength card is in the reverse. Oh, the Queen of Swords. Okay. Very interesting. Somebody is finally loosening their tongue. It does feel like, I'm just looking at the Strength card is in the reverse between the King and the Queen of Swords. There's going to be a conversation that was supposed to take place maybe years ago that is going to take place now. The Strength tells me that you're no longer holding back. I'm just going to give it to you. Yeah. King of Swords, right? I'm just going to be very clear. So sit down and listen because I'm saying it once. That's what it feels like. But it feels like a conversation between the King and the Queen of Swords. So these two people aren't really a romantic connection. I'm just saying these two people are speaking so much honesty that somebody here is like, I'm no longer holding back. So it feels like there is going to be a conversation between you and somebody else that has to do with a connection to all this stuff. But look, look at that. Yeah, excitement. We've got the Page of Wands and the Ten of Cups, and you can let go of anything else that's not working out for you. What is this? Yeah, you're letting go of the Nine of Wands. I can't even plan that. I picked up two cards by accident. You're going to be releasing the Nine of Wands. No more wounded warrior energy for you, my little fishy. Okay, so we've got Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Aries. We've got Gemini and Aries here. We've got Sagittarius, Libra, Taurus, Sagittarius, Virgo. We've got Gemini energy here, more Virgo. Lots of details are coming out. The sun is here. It's coming out in Leo season, so it's happiness. And we've got Leo energy here and Aquarian energy. That's it. I'm done. I've got to go take my son for dinner because it is his birthday. So I'm going to go for now. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I appreciate you so, so very much. And I'm going to get up from here because, well, I still haven't gotten myself a remote. So here we go. There we are. I'm going to go. Take care. Bye-bye.